If you could speak to thousands of people during the final moments of their lives, you would hear many regrets. But one regret appears again and again. Not that they failed, not that they lost money, not that life was difficult. Their regret is that they spent too much time worrying and not enough time living. They worried about tomorrow while missing today. They worried about problems that never came. They worried so much about losing life that they forgot to experience it. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone would give everything they own for one more ordinary day, one more sunrise, one more conversation, one more chance to simply be alive. Yet most of us are letting worry steal the very thing they desperately wish they still had. Buddhism offers a powerful solution to this hidden tragedy. And if you understand these lessons, you may stop wasting your life inside your mind and start experiencing the life that is already happening around you. Lesson 1. Understand that worry is not wisdom. Many people believe that worrying means they are being careful, serious, and responsible. They think if they worry enough, they can protect themselves from failure, pain, loss, or disappointment. But Buddhism teaches us to look deeply at the mind and ask an important question. Is this worry helping me find peace, or is it only making me suffer more? Worry is not the same as wisdom. Wisdom looks at a problem calmly and asks, what is the next right step? Worry keeps repeating the same fear again and again without giving you a real answer. Wisdom helps you move forward. Worry keeps you stuck in the same place. For example, if you are facing a difficult situation, wisdom says, what can I do right now to improve this? But worry says, what if everything gets worse? What if I fail? What if people judge me? One thought gives you direction, while the other only creates fear. This is why many people feel exhausted even when they have not done any physical work. Their body may be sitting still, but their mind is fighting endless battles. They imagine problems that have not happened yet. They replay conversations. They fear tomorrow. They suffer many times in their mind before anything has even happened in real life. In Buddhism, awareness helps us see the difference between reality and mental noise. Not every thought is true. Not every fear is a warning. Not every worry deserves your attention. Sometimes worry is only the restless mind creating suffering where there is no real danger. Lesson 2. Return to the present moment. Worry almost never lives in the present moment. It usually lives in the future. Your body may be sitting here, but your mind is already thinking about tomorrow, next week, next year, and all the things that could go wrong. This is why worry feels so heavy. It makes you carry problems that have not even happened yet. Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only place where life is truly happening. You cannot live tomorrow right now. You cannot solve every future problem today. You cannot control every unknown thing before it arrives. All you really have is this breath, this moment, and this day. But worry pulls you away from the life in front of you. You may sit with your family, but your mind is somewhere else. You may eat food, but you do not enjoy the taste. You may see a beautiful morning, but you do not feel grateful because your thoughts are full of fear. This is how worry makes people forget how to live. They keep waiting for peace later. They say, I will be happy when everything is clear. I will relax when every problem is solved. But life will always have something uncertain, something unfinished, or something difficult. So instead of waiting for a perfect life, gently return to the present moment. Take a deep breath, notice where you are. Feel your body, look around you. Remind yourself, right now, I am here. Right now, I am breathing. Right now, I only need to handle this moment. You do not need to carry your whole future today. You only need to live this moment with calmness, awareness, and a little more peace. Lesson 3. Accept that you cannot control everything. One of the biggest reasons people worry so much is because they are trying to control everything. They want to control what happens tomorrow. They want to control how people behave. They want to control what others think about them. They want to control every result, every relationship, every plan, and every situation in life. But the truth is, no human being can control life completely. Buddhism teaches us that life is always changing. Nothing stays the same forever. People change, feelings change, Plans change, situations change. Even the things we feel sure about today can become different tomorrow. This truth can feel scary at first, but when you understand it deeply, it can also bring freedom. Most worry comes from fighting against uncertainty. The mind says, I need to know what will happen. I need to make sure nothing goes wrong. I need to control the future before it arrives. But life does not work like that. No matter how much you think, fear, or overthink, you still cannot control everything. You can do your best, but you cannot control every outcome. You can treat people with kindness, but you cannot control how they respond. You can work hard, but you cannot control every result immediately. You can plan carefully, but you cannot control every unexpected change. You can love someone deeply, but you cannot control whether they stay the same forever. This is where many people suffer. They believe peace will come only when everything is under their control. But because life is never fully under control, their peace never arrives. They keep waiting for certainty, but life keeps changing. They keep waiting for guarantees, but life keeps teaching them to accept the unknown. In Buddhism, peace begins when you understand the difference between what is in your control and what is not. Your actions are in your control. Your attitude is in your control. Your words, your effort, your patience, your honesty, and your response are in your control. But other people's thoughts, the past, the future, time, change, and many results are not fully in your control. When you worry about things outside your control, you give your energy to something your hands cannot hold. You become tired, not because the problem is always big, but because you are trying to carry what was never yours to carry. This does not mean you should become careless. It does not mean you stop working, stop planning, or stop caring. It means you do your part with sincerity, and then you stop torturing yourself over the part that belongs to life. For example, if you have an exam, your duty is to study, prepare, and give your best effort. But after you have done your part, worrying all night will not improve your result. If you have a relationship, your duty is to be honest, respectful, and kind. But you cannot force another person to think, feel, or behave exactly the way you want. If you are working towards success, your duty is to stay disciplined and keep improving. But you cannot control the exact time when success will come. This is why acceptance is so powerful. Acceptance does not mean you like every situation. It does not mean you agree with everything that happens. It simply means you stop fighting reality in your mind. You stop saying, this should not be happening. And you begin asking, now that this is happening, how can I respond with wisdom? That small change can save your peace. Worry says, what if I lose control? Wisdom says, I never had control over everything. I only need to control my response. Worry says, what if life changes? Wisdom says, life has always been changing. I can learn to change with it. Worry says, what if things do not go my way? Wisdom says, even then, I can remain calm and take the next right step. The more you accept that you cannot control everything, the lighter your heart becomes. You stop trying to hold the whole world in your mind. You stop forcing life to give you perfect certainty. You stop wasting today's peace on tomorrow's unknown problems. So when worry comes, gently ask yourself, is this in my control? If the answer is yes, take action with calmness. If the answer is no, practice letting go. Breathe deeply and remind yourself, I will do my part, but I will not destroy my peace over what I cannot control. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. A peaceful person is not someone whose life is always easy. A peaceful person is someone who has learned not to fight every wave. They know when to act, when to wait, and when to release. Do your best. Stay aware, make wise choices. But do not let the need to control everything make you forget how to live. Life becomes much easier when you stop trying to control the entire road and simply focus on taking the next step with a calm mind. Lesson 4. Stop believing every thought. One of the most important lessons in Buddhism is that you are not every thought that appears in your mind. A thought can come, stay for a moment, and then disappear. But many people suffer because they believe every thought as if it is the complete truth. Your mind may say, something bad is going to happen. It may say you are not strong enough. It may say people are judging you. It may say your life will never get better. But just because your mind says something does not mean it is true. Sometimes the mind is only repeating fear, past pain, old insecurity, or imagination. This is where worry becomes dangerous. Worry does not always come as a clear problem. Sometimes it comes as a thought that feels real. You may be sitting quietly, and suddenly your mind creates a fearful story. It tells you that you will fail, that someone will leave you, that you will lose something, or that the future will become painful. Nothing has happened yet, but your body starts reacting as if the danger is already here. This is how the mind can create suffering without anything happening in real life. A single thought appears, and if you believe it immediately, it becomes a story. Then the story becomes fear. Then fear becomes stress. Then stress becomes suffering. And before you know it, you are no longer living in reality. You are living inside a mental movie created by worry. Buddhism teaches us to observe thoughts instead of becoming trapped by them. This means you do not have to fight every thought. You do not have to push every thought away. You simply learn to watch it with awareness. You can say, a worried thought is here. A fearful thought is here. A painful thought is here. When you name the thought, you create distance from it. This distance is powerful. Instead of saying, I am afraid, you can say, fear is arising in my mind. Instead of saying, I am a failure, you can say, a thought of failure is passing through me. Instead of saying, my life is ruined, you can say, my mind is creating a painful story right now. This small change can protect your peace. It reminds you that thoughts are experiences, not commands. You do not have to obey every thought. You do not have to follow every fear. You do not have to build your whole life around one dark moment in your mind. Think of your mind like the sky and your thoughts like clouds. Some clouds are soft and peaceful. Some are dark and heavy. Some pass quickly, and some stay longer. But no cloud is permanent. The sky does not become the cloud. In the same way, you do not become every thought that passes through your mind. A worried thought may come, but it will not stay forever if you stop feeding it. A fearful image may appear, but it will fade if you stop giving it more attention. A painful memory may rise, but it does not have to control your whole day. The problem is not always the thought itself. The problem begins when you hold it tightly and keep repeating it. Many people give their thoughts too much power. They believe every fear. They follow every doubt. They trust every negative voice inside their mind. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted. But the mind becomes heavy when you allow every thought to sit inside like truth. In Buddhism, mindfulness helps you become the watcher of your mind. You begin to notice what is happening inside you without being pulled into it. You notice worry, but you do not become worry. You notice fear, but you do not become fear. You notice sadness, but you do not become sadness. This does not mean you ignore real problems. It means you stop turning every thought into a real problem. There is a big difference between a true situation and a mental story. A true situation needs calm action. A mental story needs awareness and release. For example, if you have a bill to pay, that is a real situation. You can make a plan, save money, ask for help, or take action. But if your mind says, my whole life is finished because of this, that is a mental story. If someone does not reply to your message, that is a situation. But if your mind says, they hate me, they are leaving me, I am not important, that is a story. If you make one mistake, that is a situation. But if your mind says, I always fail, I am useless, nothing will ever work for me, that is a story. Wisdom is learning to see the difference. When a worrying thought appears, pause before believing it. Ask yourself, is this a fact, or is this only fear? Ask yourself, do I know this is true, or am I imagining the worst? Ask yourself, is this thought helping me act with wisdom, or is it only making me suffer? These questions help you return to reality. They help you stop giving power to every fearful thought. They remind you that your mind can create noise, but you do not have to live inside that noise. The more you practice this, the calmer you become. You begin to understand that peace does not come from having no thoughts. Peace comes from not being controlled by every thought. Even a calm person has thoughts. Even a wise person feels fear sometimes, but they have learned not to believe every thought blindly. So the next time worry enters your mind, do not panic. Do not immediately follow it. Do not treat it like truth. Breathe, observe, and remind yourself, this is only a thought passing through my mind. I can see it, but I do not have to become it. This is how you slowly become free, not by destroying your mind, not by forcing yourself to stop thinking, but by learning to watch your thoughts with patience and wisdom. When you stop believing every thought, worry loses its control, and your peace begins to return. Lesson 5. Learn to breathe before you react. When worry takes over your mind, it does not only affect your thoughts, it also affects your body. Your heart may beat faster, your chest may feel tight, your shoulders may become tense, your breathing may become short and heavy. Even if nothing dangerous is happening in front of you, your body begins to act as if you are in danger. This is why worry can feel so powerful. It is not just a thought in the mind, it becomes a feeling in the body. You may try to think your way out of worry, but the mind keeps running in circles. One fearful thought creates another fearful thought, and soon you feel trapped inside your own head. Buddhism teaches that the breath is one of the simplest ways to return to peace. The breath is always with you. You do not need money, a perfect place, or a special time to practice it. Whether you are sitting alone, walking outside, lying in bed, or facing a difficult moment, your breath can bring you back to yourself. When you are worried, your mind usually runs into the future. It thinks about what might happen, what could go wrong, what people might say, and how life might become difficult. But your breath always belongs to the present moment. When you pay attention to your breathing, you gently bring your mind back from fear into now. This is why mindful breathing is so important. It gives the mind something simple and real to return to. Instead of chasing every worried thought, you come back to the breath. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. Instead of letting fear control your words and actions, you create space for wisdom. Many people make their problems worse because they react while they are worried. They speak too quickly. They send messages they later regret. They make decisions from fear. They argue when they should be silent. They run away when they should stay calm. They believe every emotion in the moment and act as if that emotion will last forever. But emotions are temporary. Worry rises and falls. Fear comes and goes. Anger burns and then becomes weak. Sadness visits and then changes. The problem is that people react before the emotion has time to pass. They allow one difficult moment to control their whole behavior. This is where breathing becomes a powerful practice. Before you react, breathe. Before you answer, breathe. Before you make a decision, breathe. Before you let worry push you into panic, breathe. A few calm breaths can protect you from many mistakes. You can practice it in a very simple way. Breathe in slowly and notice the air entering your body. Breathe out slowly and feel your body releasing tension. Do not force anything. Do not fight your thoughts. Just breathe and become aware. You can silently say, breathing in, I calm my mind. Breathing out, I release my worry. Then repeat it again. I am here. Breathing out, I let go. Breathing in, I feel this moment. Breathing out, I soften my heart. This may sound simple, but simple practices are often the most powerful. A worried mind does not always need a complicated answer. Sometimes it needs stillness. Sometimes it needs a pause. Sometimes it needs one deep breath before it can see clearly again. Imagine someone says something hurtful to you. If you react immediately, worry and anger may speak for you. You may say something harsh, create more pain, and later feel regret. But if you pause and take one deep breath, you give yourself a chance to respond with awareness. You may still speak, but your words will come from calmness instead of emotional fire. Imagine you are worried about your future. Your mind keeps saying, what if I fail? What if nothing works? What if I am left behind? If you keep following those thoughts, you will feel weaker and more afraid. But if you stop, breathe, and return to this moment, you may remember that the future is not here yet. You may remember that your only duty right now is to take the next small step. Breathing does not remove every problem from life. It does not magically fix every difficulty. but it changes the way you meet your problems. It helps you face life with a calmer mind instead of a panicked mind. And a calm mind can see solutions that a worried mind cannot see. In Buddhism, peace does not come from controlling everything outside you. Peace begins when you learn to steady what is inside you. Your breath is like an anchor. When the waves of worry become strong, your breath reminds you where you are. It brings you back to your body, back to the present, back to reality. Many people spend years searching for peace in the outside world. They think peace will come when life becomes easier, when people change, when money increases, when problems disappear, or when the future becomes clear. But Buddhism teaches that peace begins inside the mind. And one of the first doors to inner peace is the breath. So when worry begins to rise, do not immediately believe that something is wrong with your whole life. First, breathe. Let the body calm down. Let the mind slow down. Let the heart become softer. Sometimes worry looks huge only because your nervous system is tired and your mind is moving too fast. When you breathe slowly, you remind yourself, I am safe in this moment. I do not need to solve my whole life right now. I only need to return to this breath. This practice becomes stronger with time. At first it may feel small. You may still feel worried after one breath. That is normal. The goal is not to become perfectly calm in 1 second. The goal is to train your mind to pause instead of panic. Every time you breathe before reacting, you become a little more aware, a little more patient, and a little more free. Worry wants you to rush. Breath teaches you to slow down. Worry wants you to imagine the worst. Breath brings you back to what is real. Worry wants you to lose control. Breath gives you a moment to choose your response. So do not underestimate the power of breathing. It may look ordinary, but it can save your peace in difficult moments. It can stop you from saying what you do not mean. It can help you sleep with a lighter heart. It can bring you back when your mind starts running too far into fear. Before you react, breathe. Before you panic, breathe. Before you believe every worried thought, breathe. Your breath is always waiting to bring you back home. Lesson 6. Do not let worry steal today's happiness. One of the saddest things about worry is that it does not always destroy your life loudly. It often destroys your life quietly. It does not come with a big warning. It does not always look like a serious problem. Sometimes worry hides inside your normal routine. You wake up worried. You eat while worried. You work while worried. You sit with people while worried. You go to bed worried. And slowly, without even noticing it, worry becomes the background sound of your life. Many people think they are living, but they are only surviving inside their worries. Their body is present, but their mind is somewhere else. They are sitting in today, but thinking about tomorrow. They are surrounded by blessings, but focused on fear. They have food, shelter, family, health, sunlight, time, and breath. But they cannot feel grateful because worry has covered their heart like a dark cloud. This is how worry steals happiness. It does not always remove the good things from your life. Sometimes it simply makes you unable to enjoy them. You may have a peaceful morning, but your mind is thinking about future problems. You may have a warm meal, but your thoughts are full of stress. You may be sitting with someone you love, but your attention is lost in fear. You may have a free evening, but instead of resting, you spend the whole time imagining what could go wrong. The moment is beautiful, but you are not really there to receive it. Buddhism teaches that life is happening only in the present moment. The past is already gone. The future has not arrived yet. But worry pulls your mind away from the only place where happiness can be felt. You cannot enjoy yesterday because it is gone. You cannot enjoy tomorrow because it has not come. You can only enjoy this breath, this moment, this day. But if worry keeps pulling you away from now, then even when happiness is available, you will not notice it. This is why worry is so dangerous. It makes people postpone life. They say, I will be happy when this problem is solved. I will enjoy life when I have more money. I will relax when my future is secure. I will feel peace when people change. I will smile when everything becomes perfect. But the truth is, life never becomes completely perfect. There will always be something unfinished. There will always be something uncertain. There will always be one more problem, one more responsibility, one more fear, one more thing to think about. If you wait for every worry to disappear before you enjoy life, you may reach the end of your life and realize that you spent all your precious years waiting. This does not mean your problems are not real. It does not mean your pain does not matter. It does not mean you should ignore your responsibilities. Buddhism does not teach careless living. It teaches conscious living. It teaches you to see clearly. Yes, life has problems. Yes, the future is uncertain. Yes, some responsibilities must be handled. But you do not have to give your entire heart to worry. You can care about your life without destroying your peace. There is a big difference between handling a problem and becoming the problem. There is a difference between planning for tomorrow and suffering about tomorrow. There is a difference between being responsible and being mentally trapped. Many people do not understand this difference, so they turn every small issue into a heavy emotional burden. A person may have one problem, but their mind repeats it 100 times. A person may face one difficult situation, but their imagination creates 10 more. A person may hear one negative comment, but their mind replays it for days. This is how worry multiplies pain. The real problem may be small, but the mind makes it huge through repetition. In Buddhism, mindfulness helps you return to what is real. It helps you notice when your mind is leaving the present moment. It helps you see when worry is stealing your attention from the life in front of you. When you become aware, you can gently bring yourself back. You can ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Not what might happen next month. Not what could happen next year. Not what my fear is imagining. What is happening right now? Right now, maybe you are breathing. Right now, maybe you are safe. Right now, maybe you have food. Right now, maybe you have a place to sit. Right now, maybe the worst thing your mind is imagining is not actually happening. This simple awareness can bring your mind back from fear into reality. Worry often makes you blind to ordinary blessings. And ordinary blessings are the foundation of a peaceful life. A quiet morning, a glass of water, a warm meal, a kind message, a peaceful walk, a moment of silence, a healthy breath, a chance to begin again. These things may look small, but they are not small. They are life itself. One day, many of the things you ignore today may become the things you miss the most. One day, you may miss the ordinary voices in your home. You may miss the simple routine you once took for granted. You may miss the strength of your body. You may miss the people you were too busy to appreciate. You may miss the quiet days that did not feel special when you had them. This is why Buddhism reminds us of impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing stays forever. The people around you will change. Your body will change. Your home will change. Your daily routine will change. Your life situation will change. Even this day will disappear and never return in the exact same way again. When you understand impermanence deeply, you begin to see today with more softness. You stop treating ordinary moments as meaningless. You stop postponing gratitude. You stop assuming that you will always have more time. You begin to realize that the present moment is not something to rush through. It is something to be lived. But worry makes people forget this. Worry says, do not enjoy this moment yet. Think about what could go wrong. Worry says, do not relax yet. There are too many problems. Worry says, do not be grateful yet. Life is not perfect. Worry says, do not smile yet. Something bad might happen later. If you listen to worry for too long, it will convince you that happiness is unsafe. It will make you feel guilty for resting. It will make you feel afraid of peace. It will make you think that if you stop worrying, something will go wrong. But this is not true. Your worry is not what protects your life. Your wisdom protects your life. Your awareness protects your life. Your clear action protects your life. Worry only drains the energy you need to live well. Think about it carefully. Has worry ever added peace to your heart? Has worry ever made your body stronger? Has worry ever made your day more beautiful? Has worry ever solved a problem by repeating fear again and again? Most of the time, worry only takes from you. It takes your sleep. It takes your focus. It takes your patience. It takes your joy. It takes your ability to enjoy simple things. And the most painful thing is this. Worry can make you lose happiness even while you have reasons to be happy. A person can have a loving family and still feel lonely because worry keeps their mind closed. A person can have enough food and still feel empty because worry keeps them focused on what is missing. A person can have a peaceful day and still feel restless because worry keeps searching for danger. A person can be alive, breathing and blessed, but still feel unhappy because they never learn to be present. This is why you must protect your happiness from worry. Not by pretending life is easy, but by refusing to let fear steal every beautiful thing from you. When you drink tea, drink tea. Do not drink tea while mentally fighting tomorrow. When you eat, eat with awareness. Do not eat while feeding your mind with fear. When you talk to someone you love, truly listen. Do not let worry take you away from their presence. When you walk outside, notice the sky, the air, the light, the movement of life around you. These moments may seem small, but they train your mind to return to life. In Buddhism, happiness is not always something huge. It is not always a success, luxury, achievement, or a perfect future. Sometimes happiness is the ability to breathe calmly. Sometimes happiness is the ability to sit without fighting your thoughts. Sometimes happiness is the ability to enjoy a simple moment without needing life to be perfect first. Many people miss happiness because they expect it to arrive in a big form. They think happiness will come only when everything changes. But often, happiness begins when your attention changes. The same life can feel heavy when your mind is full of worry, and the same life can feel more peaceful when your mind learns to notice what is still good. This does not mean you deny your struggles. You can have problems and still feel grateful. You can be working hard and still enjoy a peaceful moment. You can be healing and still smile. You can be uncertain about the future and still appreciate today. You can carry responsibility without letting responsibility destroy your heart. The mind often says, "How can I be happy when I still have problems?" But the wiser question is, how can I live peacefully even while life is not perfect? Because life may never be completely perfect. If your happiness depends on every problem disappearing, then your happiness will always be delayed. Buddhism teaches the middle way. It teaches balance. Do not ignore your problems, but not worship them. Do not deny your fears, but do not let them become your master. Do not run from responsibility, but do not forget that you are also allowed to breathe, rest, smile, and live. You must learn to give your attention wisely. Whatever you give attention to grows stronger in your experience. If you give all your attention to fear, fear becomes your world. If you give all your attention to what is missing, life feels empty. If you give all your attention to what could go wrong, you forget what is already going right. But when you give attention to the present moment, gratitude begins to grow. When you give attention to your breath, calmness begins to grow. When you give attention to simple blessings, contentment begins to grow. When you give attention to wise action, confidence begins to grow. This is how you take your life back from worry. Not all at once, but moment by moment. Start small. In the morning, before you touch your phone or fill your mind with problems, take one slow breath and remind yourself, "I am alive today." This sentence is simple but powerful. Many people did not receive this day. Many people wished for more time and did not get it. You have this day. Do not waste it completely on fear. When you eat, pause for a moment and feel grateful. When you speak to someone, give them your attention. When your mind starts running into the future, gently bring it back. When worry says, "What if everything goes wrong?" Answer with awareness. Right now, I will do what I can. Right now, I will not abandon my peace. You do not have to become perfectly calm in one day. You do not have to remove every worry from your mind. You only have to stop letting worry control your whole life. Even a few moments of awareness can begin to change you. Even one peaceful breath can remind you that worry is not your home. Your home is the present moment. Your home is your breath. Your home is the quiet space inside you that still exists beneath all the noise. Do not let worry convince you that you must suffer all day to be responsible. Do not let worry make you feel guilty for enjoying your life. Do not let worry tell you that peace must wait until everything is perfect. Peace can begin right here, in the middle of your unfinished life. You are allowed to enjoy today, even if tomorrow is uncertain. You are allowed to smile, even if you still have problems. You are allowed to rest, even if everything is not solved. You are allowed to feel grateful, even while you are still growing. You are allowed to live even before life becomes perfect. Remember this deeply. Worry will always offer you fear, but awareness will always offer you life. Worry will show you what might go wrong, but gratitude will show you what is still beautiful. Worry will pull you into tomorrow, but your breath will bring you back to today, and today is where your life is waiting. Do not reach old age and realize that you spent your best years worrying about things that never happened. Do not wait until your body becomes weak to appreciate the breath you have now. Do not wait until people are gone to value their presence. Do not wait until life changes to notice what was beautiful in this season. Live now, breathe now, appreciate now. Handle what you can handle, but do not surrender your whole heart to worry. Because life is not only meant to be survived, it is meant to be felt. It is meant to be noticed. It is meant to be lived with awareness, gratitude, and peace. So when worry tries to steal today's happiness, pause and return to the present. Look around. Feel your breath. Notice one thing that is still good. Remind yourself, this moment matters too. My peace matters too. My life is happening now. And slowly, you will understand that happiness was not always far away. Sometimes it was hidden beneath the noise of worry, waiting for you to come back to the present moment and finally notice it. Lesson 7. Practice letting go. Every day, one of the most powerful lessons in Buddhism is learning how to let go. But letting go does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold, careless, or weak. Letting go means you stop holding so tightly to the thoughts, fears, people, outcomes, and problems that are destroying your peace from the inside. Many people hear the words let go and think it means giving up. But in Buddhism, letting go is not giving up on life. It is giving up the suffering that comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled. It is releasing the heavy things your heart was never meant to carry forever. Worry becomes painful because the mind keeps holding on. It holds on to the past. It holds on to mistakes. It holds on to fear. It holds on to what people said. It holds on to what might happen tomorrow. It holds on to situations that have already changed. And the more the mind holds, the heavier life feels. This is why some people feel tired, even when nothing big is happening in the present moment. Their body is in today, but their mind is carrying years of pain, regret, fear, and unfinished thoughts. They are not just living one day. They are carrying yesterday, tomorrow, and every possible problem at the same time. Buddhism teaches that attachment is one of the roots of suffering. Attachment does not only mean attachment to people or things. It can also mean attachment to control, attachment to certainty, attachment to expectations, attachment to old pain, attachment to a future you want to force, and attachment to the idea that life must happen exactly the way you imagined. When life does not match your expectation, worry begins. When people do not behave the way you hoped, worry begins. When the future feels uncertain, worry begins. When something changes, worry begins. But the real suffering often comes not from the change itself, but from the mind refusing to accept that change is part of life. Everything in life changes. This is one of the deepest truths in Buddhism. Your thoughts change, your emotions change, your relationships change, your body changes, your circumstances change, your desires change, even your worries change. The thing that feels so heavy today may not feel the same after some time. The fear that feels so powerful right now may lose its strength later. But when the mind forgets this truth, it starts clinging. It says, this must stay. This must happen. This person must act the way I want. This result must come quickly. This problem must disappear immediately. This future must be guaranteed. And because life does not always obey the mind, suffering grows. Letting go begins when you stop demanding that life become perfectly certain before you allow yourself to feel peace. It begins when you stop saying, I cannot be peaceful until everything is solved. It begins when you understand that peace is not found by controlling every part of life. Peace is found by learning how to meet life with a calmer heart. Think about how many worries you have already carried in your life. Some of them felt huge at the time. Some of them kept you awake at night. Some of them made your heart heavy. Some of them made you believe your life would fall apart. But where are many of those worries now? Some passed, some changed, some never happened. Some became lessons, some became memories, some lost their power with time. This shows you something important. Worry feels permanent when you are inside it, but it is not permanent. Fear feels like truth when it is loud, but it is not always truth. Pain feels endless when it is fresh, but even pain changes. So why give your whole life to a feeling that will change? This does not mean your emotions are not real. They are real while they are happening, but they are not the whole truth of your life. You can feel worry without becoming worry. You can feel fear without obeying fear. You can feel sadness without believing that sadness will last forever. Letting go means you allow thoughts and emotions to pass through you without building your entire identity around them. Imagine holding a heavy stone in your hand. At first, it may not feel too heavy, but if you keep holding it for hours, your hand begins to hurt. If you hold it for days, your whole body becomes tired. The stone did not become heavier. You simply held it for too long. This is what many people do with worry. They pick up one fear and hold it all day. Then they carry it into the night. Then they wake up and hold it again. Then they add another fear, another regret, another memory, another expectation. Soon their heart feels heavy, not because life gave them too much in one moment, but because they never learned how to put anything down. Letting go is learning how to put the stone down. You may not be able to remove every problem from life, but you can stop carrying problems in a way that destroys your peace. You may not be able to control every outcome, but you can stop torturing yourself over outcomes that have not arrived yet. You may not be able to change the past, but you can stop replaying it as if suffering today will repair yesterday. The past is gone. You can learn from it, but you cannot live there. The future is not here. You can prepare for it, but you cannot control it completely. The present moment is the only place where your life is happening. Letting go brings you back to this moment. Many people are not tired because of today. They are tired because they are carrying things that belong to yesterday and tomorrow. They are carrying old mistakes, old shame, old conversations, old disappointments, and future fears. Their heart has no space to breathe because it is filled with things that are no longer here or not here yet. Buddhism teaches us to return to awareness. Awareness helps you notice what you are holding. You cannot release what you do not see. So the first step is to become honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what am I holding right now that is making me suffer? Is it fear? Is it regret? Is it someone's opinion? Is it anger? Is it an expectation? Is it the need to know everything? Is it a future outcome? Is it a version of life that did not happen? When you see what you are holding, you can begin to loosen your grip. Sometimes letting go is not one big moment. Sometimes it is a small practice you repeat every day. You let go when you stop replaying a painful conversation. You let go when you stop checking for signs of what someone thinks about you. You let go when you stop trying to force people to understand you. You let go when you stop punishing yourself for a mistake you already learned from. You let go when you stop turning every unknown thing into a disaster in your mind. Letting go is a daily discipline. Every morning, you can begin again. You can say, today I will do my best, but I will not carry what I cannot control. Every afternoon when worry rises, you can pause and say, this thought is heavy, but I do not have to follow it. Every night before you sleep, you can say, I did what I could today. What is unfinished can wait. What is not mine to control, I release. This kind of practice slowly changes the mind. At first, worry may return many times. That is normal. The mind has learned the habit of holding on, so it must also learn the habit of releasing. Do not become angry at yourself because you still worry. Simply notice it and return again. Every time you return, you become stronger. A peaceful mind is not created in one day. It is trained through many small moments of awareness. Letting go also means accepting that not everything needs your reaction. Some thoughts can pass without being answered. Some fears can pass without being followed. Some people can speak without you needing to defend yourself every time. Some situations can change without you needing to fight reality. Some problems can wait until your mind is calm enough to handle them wisely. Worry often tells you to react quickly. It says, do something now, fix everything now, control everything now, answer everything now. But wisdom knows that not every moment needs immediate action. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is pause. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is breathe. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to step back from the noise and let your mind become clear. When the mind is full of worry, it cannot see properly. It sees danger everywhere. It turns small problems into huge disasters. It turns silence into rejection. It turns delay into failure. It turns uncertainty into fear. But when the mind becomes calm, it sees more clearly. It can tell the difference between a real problem and an imagined fear. This is why letting go is not weakness. It is strength. It takes strength to stop feeding a thought that wants to control you. It takes strength to walk away from mental stories that hurt you. It takes strength to accept what you cannot change. It takes strength to trust that you can face life one step at a time without carrying the whole future today. Many people think strength means holding on no matter what. But sometimes true strength is knowing what to release. Holding on to worry does not prove that you are strong. It only proves that you are suffering. Real strength is the ability to say, this thought is not helping me, this fear is not guiding me, this burden is not mine to carry right now. Letting go also teaches you humility. It reminds you that you are human. You do not know everything. You cannot control everything. You cannot protect yourself from every possible pain. You cannot make life perfectly safe through overthinking, but you can live with awareness. You can act with kindness. You can make wise choices. You can meet change with a softer heart. This is enough. You do not need to know every answer before you take the next step. You do not need to solve your whole life before you sleep tonight. You do not need to control every person before you feel safe. You do not need to be perfect before you deserve peace. You are allowed to be unfinished and still breathe calmly. You are allowed to be healing and still enjoy today. You are allowed to have questions and still trust the path. One reason worry becomes so painful is because we try to live too far ahead. The mind wants to see the whole road before taking one step, but life does not always show the whole road. Sometimes life only shows the next step, and that is enough. You do not need the whole road today. You only need enough wisdom for this moment. Letting go means trusting yourself to meet life as it comes. It means saying, I may not know everything, but I can handle this moment. It means saying I cannot control the future, but I can control my next action. It means saying, I will not destroy today's peace by trying to mentally live through every possible tomorrow. This is how you stop worry from becoming your whole life. When you practice letting go, you begin to feel lighter. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you stop adding unnecessary weight to it. You still have responsibilities, but they no longer own your mind. You still have problems, but they no longer become your identity. You still have fears, but they no longer control every decision. You begin to understand that peace is not the absence of difficulty. Peace is the ability to stay present even when difficulty exists. Peace is the ability to breathe when the mind wants to panic. Peace is the ability to release what you cannot carry. Peace is the ability to act where you can and surrender where you must. This is a deep Buddhist lesson. Life will always bring change. Some things will come. Some things will go. Some people will leave. Some plans will succeed. Some plans will fail. Some days will feel light. Some days will feel heavy. But through all of this, you can learn to remain aware. You do not have to be broken by every change. You do not have to be controlled by every fear. You do not have to spend your whole life chasing certainty. You can learn to live with open hands instead of clenched fists. Open hands can receive life. Clenched fists only create tension. When you hold life too tightly, you become afraid of losing everything. But when you learn to hold life gently, You begin to appreciate what is here while it is here. You love without trying to possess. You work without becoming obsessed. You plan without becoming trapped. You care without turning care into fear. This is the freedom that letting go brings. It does not make you empty, it makes you peaceful. It does not make you weak, it makes you wise. It does not remove love from your heart. It removes fear from your love. It does not remove effort from your life. It removes panic from your effort. At the end of life, many people realize that they worried too much about things that did not deserve their whole heart. They worried about opinions that changed. They worried about problems that passed. They worried about people who were also confused. They worried about futures that never happened. They worried so much that they forgot to enjoy the simple gift of being alive. Do not wait until the end to learn this lesson. Practice letting go now. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Let go of the belief that worry protects you. Let go of the habit of punishing yourself with old mistakes. Let go of the fear that you must have everything figured out. Let go of the thought that peace is only possible when life becomes perfect. Life is happening now, even with its uncertainty. Peace is possible now, even with unfinished problems. Happiness is possible now, even while you are still growing. Tonight, when the day ends, place your hand on your heart and breathe. Say to yourself, I release what I cannot control. I forgive myself for what I did not know before. I accept that today is finished. I allow my mind to rest. Tomorrow will be handled tomorrow. This simple practice can become medicine for the soul. And tomorrow, when worry returns, practice again. Let go again. Breathe again. Return again. Do not expect the mind to become peaceful overnight. Just keep training it with patience. Every time you let go of one useless worry, you create more space for peace. Every time you stop feeding fear, you create more space for life. Every time you return to the present moment, you remember that you are still here, still breathing, still capable of beginning again. Before you die, learn how to put down what is too heavy for your soul. Learn how to release the thoughts that steal your peace. Learn how to stop carrying fear as if it is your duty. Learn how to live with more trust, more awareness, and more gentleness toward yourself. You were not born only to worry. You were not born only to survive. You were not born only to carry invisible burdens until your heart becomes tired. You were born to live, to breathe, to learn, to grow, and to experience the present moment with a mind that is awake. So let go, not once, but every day. Let go when fear rises. Let go when the past calls you back. Let go when the future scares you. Let go when your mind creates stories that hurt you. Let go when your heart becomes heavy from holding too much. And with every release, you will come closer to peace. Because the art of living is also the art of letting go. And the moment you stop carrying what was never yours to carry, you begin to feel the quiet freedom that was waiting beneath all your worry. Lesson 8. Trust the flow of life without losing yourself. One of the deepest reasons people worry is because they do not trust the flow of life. They want life to move exactly according to their plan. They want every person to behave the way they expect. They want every result to come at the right time. They want every door to open when they knock. They want every problem to disappear quickly. And when life does not move according to their desire, worry begins to rise inside them. The mind starts asking painful questions. What if this never works out? What if I lose everything? What if I am left behind? What if life does not give me what I want? What if all my effort is wasted? What if I never become happy? These questions may feel important, but if you keep repeating them again and again, they will not give you peace. They will only make your heart heavy. The more you try to force life to follow your exact plan, the more exhausted you become. And the more exhausted you become, the harder it becomes to see life clearly. Buddhism teaches that life is not something we can fully own, control, or force. Life is a river. It moves, it changes, it turns. Sometimes it flows smoothly, and sometimes it becomes rough. Sometimes it carries you toward places you expected, and sometimes it carries you toward places you never imagined. The wise person does not try to control the entire river. The wise person learns how to move with awareness, patience, and balance. This does not mean you stop trying. This does not mean you become lazy or passive. It means you stop fighting life with fear. You still work. You still take action. You still improve yourself. You still make choices. But you do not attach your whole piece to one result, one person, one plan, or one future. Many people suffer because they believe their life must happen in only one way. They create one picture in their mind and say, if life does not look like this, I cannot be happy. But life is bigger than your picture. Sometimes what you wanted was not what you needed. Sometimes what you lost made space for something better. Sometimes what did not happen protected you from a path that would have hurt you. Sometimes delays teach patience. Sometimes closed doors teach direction. Sometimes silence teaches strength. Sometimes uncertainty teaches trust. But when you are trapped in worry, you cannot see this. Worry makes you impatient. It makes you think that if something is not happening now, it will never happen. It makes you believe that if one plan fails, your whole life is finished. It makes you forget that life can still change, heal, open, and surprise you in ways you cannot understand today. In Buddhism, wisdom means seeing life as it is, not only as you want it to be. It means understanding that things arise and pass away. Good moments come and go. Difficult moments come and go. Fear comes and goes. Success comes and goes. Pain comes and goes. Nothing stays fixed forever. When you understand this, you stop making permanent conclusions from temporary moments. You stop saying, my life is over, just because today is difficult. You stop saying, nothing will ever change, just because things are not changing fast enough. You stop saying, I will never be happy, just because your heart feels heavy right now. A moment is not your whole life. A bad day is not your whole story. A failure is not your final identity. A delay is not a denial of your future. A painful season is not proof that peace will never return. This is why trust is important. Trust does not mean you know exactly what will happen. Trust means you believe you can meet life one moment at a time. Trust means you stop demanding to see the whole road before taking the next step. Trust means you allow life to unfold without destroying your mind with worry every day. Most people want certainty before they feel peace. But Buddhism teaches that peace comes from being present, even when certainty is not available. You may not know what tomorrow will bring, but you can still breathe today. You may not know how every problem will be solved, but you can still take one wise step today. You may not know why something happened, but you can still respond with patience and awareness. You do not need to understand the whole journey to keep walking. Think of a tree. A tree does not worry every morning about whether the sun will rise. It does not panic every time the wind blows. It does not complain when the seasons change. It simply stays rooted and grows through what life brings. In spring it blooms. In summer it stands under the heat. In autumn it releases its leaves. In winter it becomes quiet. It does not fight every season. It trusts the rhythm of life. You can learn from this. You also have seasons. There are seasons of growth, seasons of waiting, seasons of loss, seasons of healing, seasons of silence, and seasons of becoming. Not every season will feel easy, but every season can teach you something if you stop fighting it with worry. Some seasons teach you patience. Some teach you strength. Some teach you humility. Some teach you self-respect. Some teach you how to let go. Some teach you how to begin again. But worry makes you reject the season you are in. It makes you say, this should not be happening. I should be somewhere else. My life should look different by now. And the more you fight your present season, the more painful it becomes. Acceptance does not mean you stay stuck. Acceptance means you stop wasting energy denying reality. Once you accept where you are, you can move forward with a clearer mind. You can say, this is where I am right now. This is what life is showing me right now. Now, what is the wisest step I can take? This question is powerful because it brings you back from worry into action. Worry keeps asking, why is this happening to me? Wisdom asks, what can this teach me? Worry asks, what if everything goes wrong? Wisdom asks, what can I do with the moment I have? Worry asks, how can I control everything? Wisdom asks, how can I respond with peace? When you trust the flow of life, you stop treating every delay as punishment. You stop treating every change as a disaster. You stop treating every uncertainty as danger. You begin to understand that life is not always against you, just because it is not moving according to your timing. Sometimes life is shaping you slowly. Sometimes life is removing what you were too attached to. Sometimes life is teaching you to stand on your own. Sometimes life is asking you to become wiser before receiving what you desire. Sometimes life is not closing your future, it is redirecting your path. But worry cannot understand redirection. Worry only sees loss. Worry only sees fear. Worry only sees what is missing. This is why you must not let worry be your teacher. Worry will make you impatient, bitter, afraid and blind to the lessons in front of you. Let awareness be your teacher instead. Awareness says, I see that I am afraid, but I do not have to be controlled by fear. Awareness says, I see that life is uncertain, but I can still remain present. Awareness says, I see that something did not happen my way, but maybe there is still wisdom in this moment. Awareness says, I can trust the process without abandoning myself. This last part is important. Trusting life does not mean losing yourself. Some people misunderstand trust. They think trusting the flow means allowing people to mistreat them. They think it means doing nothing. They think it means accepting every painful situation forever. But true trust is not weakness. True trust is calm strength. You trust life, but you still respect yourself. You accept what happens, but you still make wise choices. You forgive, but you also learn. You let go, but you do not keep walking back into the same pain. You stay patient, but you do not abandon your dignity. You flow with life, but you do not become careless with your soul. Buddhism teaches the middle way. Do not control everything, but do not become powerless. Do not force life, but do not stop walking. Do not cling to outcomes, but do not give up your effort. Do not worry about everything, but do not ignore what needs attention. The middle way is balance. This balance can change your life. When something goes wrong, instead of falling into panic, pause and breathe. Ask yourself, what is life asking me to learn here? Maybe life is asking you to slow down. Maybe it is asking you to become stronger. Maybe it is asking you to stop depending on one person for your happiness. Maybe it is asking you to release an old attachment. Maybe it is asking you to build patience. Maybe it is asking you to trust yourself more. When something does not happen on your timing, instead of thinking, I failed, ask yourself, what can I improve while I wait? Waiting does not have to be wasted time. Waiting can become preparation. Waiting can become growth. Waiting can become inner training. Waiting can become the space where you become ready for what you once wanted too quickly. Many people destroy their peace while waiting because they think waiting means nothing is happening. But sometimes the deepest growth is invisible. Seeds grow in darkness before they appear above the ground. A person can also grow quietly before the world sees the result. Do not worry because your growth is not visible yet. Do not panic because your life does not look successful to others yet. Do not lose yourself because your path is slower than someone else's path. Everyone has different timing. Everyone has different lessons. Everyone has different karma, different struggles, different inner battles, and different seasons. Comparison creates worry because it makes you believe you are late. But in Buddhism, the path is personal. You cannot walk another person's path and remain true to your own soul. Someone else's progress does not mean your life is failing. Someone else's success does not mean your blessings are gone. Someone else's timing does not cancel your journey. Trust your path. Walk it with awareness. Walk it with patience. Walk it without needing to prove everything to everyone. Worry often comes from wanting life to look safe from the outside. You want people to see that you are doing well. You want proof that you are not behind. You want signs that everything will work. But real peace is not built from outside approval. Real peace is built from inner stability. Inner stability means you are not thrown completely off balance by every change. You may feel pain, but you do not collapse into hopelessness. You may feel fear, but you do not let fear become your master. You may face uncertainty, but you do not forget who you are. You may lose something, but you do not lose your entire self. This is what Buddhism helps you develop. A mind that can stay awake inside change. Life will never stop changing. People will not always act the way you want. Plans will not always unfold perfectly. Some prayers will be answered in unexpected ways. Some dreams will take longer. Some relationships will change. Some chapters will end before you feel ready. But through all of this, you can learn to remain present, grounded, and wise. The more you trust the flow of life, the less you fight every wave. And when you stop fighting every wave, you save energy for what truly matters. You begin to focus on your actions, not every outcome. You focus on your character, not every opinion. You focus on your peace, not every fear. You focus on your growth, not every comparison. You focus on your breath, not every anxious thought. This is how worry becomes weaker. Worry needs your attention to survive. If you keep feeding it with fear, it grows. If you keep repeating the same painful thoughts, it grows. If you keep imagining the worst, it grows. But when you return to trust, awareness, and present action, worry begins to lose its food. You can say to yourself, I do not know everything, but I can take one step. You can say, I cannot control everything, but I can control my response. You can say, life is uncertain, but I do not have to suffer before anything happens. You can say, I trust that even this moment can teach me something. These words may not solve every problem instantly, but they help change the energy inside you. They bring you out of panic and back into wisdom. Trusting life is not something you practice only when things are easy. Anyone can trust when everything is going according to plan. Real trust is practiced when life feels unclear. Real trust is practiced when you do not have all the answers. Real trust is practiced when your mind wants to panic, but your awareness says, breathe, stay here, take the next step. This is how you become spiritually stronger. Not by escaping uncertainty, but by learning how to stand peacefully inside it. Before you die, learn this deeply. Life does not have to happen exactly the way you planned for it to still become meaningful. Sometimes the life you did not expect becomes the life that teaches you the most. Sometimes the path you resisted becomes the path that awakens you. Sometimes the delay you hated becomes the delay that protects you. Sometimes the ending you cried over becomes the beginning of your freedom. But you will only see this if you stop letting worry close your eyes. A worried mind sees only danger. A peaceful mind can see possibility. A worried mind sees only what is missing. A grateful mind can see what remains. A worried mind sees only the closed door. A patient mind can see the path beside it. So do not spend your whole life trying to force every door open. Knock where you must, work where you can. Improve yourself where needed. But if a door does not open, do not destroy your soul against it. Sometimes peace comes when you step back and trust that not every closed door is your enemy. Some doors close to redirect you. Some doors close to protect you. Some doors close because you have outgrown them. Some doors close because your future needs a different path. And some doors close because life is teaching you to stop placing your happiness outside yourself. The more you place your happiness in one outcome, the more worried you become. If you believe you can only be happy if one person stays, one plan works, one result happens, or one dream comes true exactly your way, then your peace becomes fragile. Anything can shake it. Anything can threaten it. Anything can make you afraid. But when your happiness grows from awareness, gratitude, and inner peace, it becomes stronger. You can still desire things, but you are not destroyed if they change. You can still love people, but you do not lose your soul trying to control them. You can still work for success, but you do not hate your life while waiting for it. This is freedom. Freedom is not having everything you want. Freedom is not being free from all problems. Freedom is not controlling every situation. Freedom is the ability to remain connected to yourself while life changes around you. And this freedom begins with trust. Trust your breath. Trust your ability to begin again. Trust that painful moments can pass. Trust that you can learn from what you cannot control. Trust that not every delay is failure. Trust that not every loss is the end. Trust that not every uncertain moment needs to become suffering. When worry comes, do not fight it with anger. Meet it with awareness. Say, I see you, worry. You are trying to protect me, but I will not let you control my whole life. Then breathe. Come back to the present. Take one clear step. This is the Buddhist way. Not panic, not denial, not force, awareness, acceptance, wise action, letting go. Every day, life gives you a chance to practice. When plans change, practice patience. When people disappoint you, practice understanding. When fear rises, practice breathing. When the future feels unclear, practice trust. When your mind becomes loud, practice silence. When your heart becomes heavy, practice letting go. Do not wait for life to become easy before you become peaceful. Use every difficult moment as training. Every worry can become a teacher if you meet it with awareness. Every fear can become a doorway if you do not run from it blindly. Every uncertainty can become a practice ground for trust. Slowly, you will notice a change inside you. You will still have thoughts, but they will not control you as easily. You will still face problems, but they will not steal your whole identity. You will still feel fear sometimes, but you will know how to return to your breath. You will still care about your future, but you will no longer sacrifice today completely for tomorrow. This is how you stop worry from stealing your life. You learn to move with life instead of constantly fighting it. You learn to trust the present moment. You learn to act wisely without clinging desperately. You learn to accept change without losing yourself. You learn to hold your dreams gently, your relationships gently, your plans gently, and your life gently. Because everything is changing, everything is passing, everything is temporary. And this truth is not only sad, it is also beautiful. It means pain can pass, fear can pass, confusion can pass, heavy days can pass. You are not trapped forever in this moment. Life is still moving. So let it move. Let life unfold without turning every unknown into a nightmare. Let people be who they are without trying to control every thought in their mind. Let the past be a teacher instead of a prison. Let the future arrive one day at a time. Let yourself breathe in the middle of uncertainty. You do not need to have everything figured out to live today. You do not need a perfect plan to take one step. You do not need complete certainty to feel a little peace. You do not need life to be fully under control before you allow yourself to smile. You are alive now. This moment is here now. Your breath is here now. And this is it life is asking you to return. Before your life ends, learn to trust the flow of life. Not blindly, not carelessly, but wisely. Trust while taking action. Trust while growing. Trust while learning. Trust while protecting your peace. Trust while letting go of what is too heavy to carry. Do not let worry make you believe that life is only danger, pressure, and problems. Life is also beauty. Life is also silence. Life is also healing. Life is also small moments of peace that appear when you finally stop running inside your mind. So when worry tells you, everything must happen exactly your way, answer with wisdom. I will do my best, but I will not fight the flow of life. When worry tells you, you must know the future before you can be calm, answer with awareness. I do not know the future, but I can be present now. When worry tells you, if this does not work, your life is over, answer with trust. Life has many paths and I am still walking. And when worry tells you, hold on tightly or you will lose everything, answer with peace. What is meant to stay will stay with ease, and what must leave will teach me how to release. This is not the end of effort. This is the beginning of freedom. Trust the flow of life. Walk gently, breathe deeply, act wisely, let go daily, and do not forget to live while life is still here. Lesson 9. Train your mind to choose peace again and again. One of the greatest lessons in Buddhism is that peace is not something you find one time and keep forever without effort. Peace is something you practice. Peace is something you return to. Peace is something you choose again and again, especially when the mind wants to run toward worry, fear, anger, regret, and overthinking. Many people think a peaceful person never worries, but this is not true. A peaceful person also faces problems. A peaceful person also has difficult days. A peaceful person also feels fear, sadness, confusion, and uncertainty. The difference is that a peaceful person has learned not to live under the control of every passing emotion. They know how to return. This is very important. Peace is not about never falling into worry. Peace is about learning how to come back when worry appears. Peace is not about having no thoughts. Peace is about not becoming a slave to every thought. Peace is not about living a perfect life. Peace is about meeting an imperfect life with a wiser mind. Buddhism teaches that the mind is trainable. The mind is not fixed forever. A restless mind can become calmer. A worried mind can become clearer. A reactive mind can become more patient. A fearful mind can become stronger. But this does not happen by accident. It happens through daily practice. If you feed worry every day, worry becomes stronger. If you feed fear every day, fear becomes stronger. If you feed anger every day, anger becomes stronger. If you feed comparison every day, comparison becomes stronger. But if you feed awareness, gratitude, patience, and calmness, those qualities also become stronger. Your mind becomes what you repeatedly practice. This is why you must be careful with what you allow to grow inside you. Every thought you repeat becomes a path in the mind. Every fear you feed becomes easier to return to. Every story you keep telling yourself becomes more believable. If you keep saying, something bad will happen, your mind will search for danger everywhere. If you keep saying, I cannot handle life, your mind will begin to believe weakness. If you keep saying, I will never be happy, your mind will look for proof that happiness is impossible. But you can also train the mind in a different direction. You can say, this is difficult, but I can take one step. You can say, this worry is here, but I do not have to obey it. You can say, I cannot control everything, but I can control how I breathe, how I speak, and how I respond. You can say, this moment is painful, but it is not permanent. You can say, I choose peace even if my mind is loud right now. At first, these words may feel small. They may not remove every worry instantly, but with repetition, they begin to reshape the mind. Just as water slowly shapes stone, small peaceful thoughts can slowly shape a worried mind. Many people wait for peace to come from outside. They wait for life to become easy. They wait for people to treat them perfectly. They wait for money to increase. They wait for every problem to disappear. They wait for the future to become clear. But if your peace depends only on outside conditions, your peace will always be fragile. Why? Because outside conditions are always changing. One day people are kind, another day they are difficult. One day plans work, another day they break. One day the body feels strong, another day it feels tired. One day the heart feels light, another day it feels heavy. If your peace depends on everything outside you staying perfect, then worry will always find a way back in. Buddhism teaches that true peace begins inside. It begins in the way you relate to your thoughts. It begins in the way you respond to change. It begins in the way you breathe before reacting. It begins in the way you release what you cannot control. It begins in the way you return to the present moment when the mind runs too far. This does not mean you ignore the outside world. It does not mean you stop solving problems. It does not mean you become passive. It means your inner world is no longer completely controlled by every outer event. This is real freedom. Imagine your mind like a garden. If you do not care for it, weeds will grow naturally. Worry is like a weed. Fear is like a weed. Anger is like a weed. Regret is like a weed. If you leave the garden unattended, the weeds will spread. Soon they cover the flowers, and you may forget that beauty was ever there. But if you care for the garden every day, even in small ways, something changes. You remove one weed. You water one seed. You bring sunlight to one flower. You protect what is growing. Slowly, the garden becomes alive again. Your mind is the same. You cannot expect peace to grow if you water worry every day. You cannot expect happiness to grow if you feed your mind only with fear, comparison, regret, and negative stories. You must become the gardener of your own mind. This means you must notice what is growing inside you. When a worried thought appears, do not immediately believe it. Notice it. When fear appears, do not immediately become it. Notice it. When anger appears, do not let it control your words. Notice it. When sadness appears, do not turn it into a permanent identity. Notice it. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. Without awareness, you live automatically. Someone says something, and you react. A problem appears, and you panic. A thought comes, and you believe it. A memory returns, and you suffer again. A fear enters, and you follow it for hours. This is unconscious living. This is how worry controls people. But with awareness, there is space. A thought appears, and you can ask, is this true? A feeling rises, and you can ask, do I need to act from this feeling? A worry comes, and you can ask, is this helping me? Or is it only hurting me? A fear speaks, and you can ask, what is actually happening right now? This space is where peace begins. Most people suffer because they react too quickly to the movement of the mind. They do not pause. They do not observe. They do not breathe. The mind says panic, and they panic. The mind says be angry, and they become angry. The mind says everything is going wrong, and they believe their whole life is falling apart. But Buddhism teaches you to slow down. It teaches you to sit with the mind and watch it. It teaches you that you are not required to follow every mental command. You can observe, you can breathe, you can choose. This is one of the most powerful abilities you can develop, the ability to choose your response. You may not choose every event in life. You may not choose every person's behavior. You may not choose every loss, delay, or challenge. But you can slowly learn to choose how you meet these things. You can choose whether to feed worry or return to calmness. You can choose whether to react blindly or pause with awareness. You can choose whether to keep replaying the past or bring yourself back to the present. This choice may not always feel easy. Sometimes worry feels strong. Sometimes fear feels louder than wisdom. Sometimes your old habits pull you back. But every time you pause, every time you breathe, every time you return, you are training the mind. Do not underestimate small moments of practice. A person does not become peaceful by listening to one lesson. A person becomes peaceful by practicing one breath at a time, one pause at a time, one gentle correction at a time, one moment of awareness at a time. This is how the mind changes. If worry has been your habit for years, do not expect peace to become your habit in one day. Be patient with yourself. Buddhism teaches patience because growth takes time. A seed does not become a tree overnight. The moon does not become full in one moment. A river does not carve stone in one day. In the same way, a worried mind becomes peaceful through steady practice. So when you fall back into worry, do not hate yourself. I failed again. Do not turn your struggle into shame. Simply notice it and return. Say, worry has appeared again. And now I will come back again. This is the path. Falling and returning, forgetting and remembering, worrying and coming back to awareness. The important thing is not that you never lose peace. The important thing is that you do not give up on returning to peace. Some days, choosing peace may mean staying silent instead of arguing. Some days, it may mean resting instead of forcing yourself to keep going. Some days, it may mean taking action instead of overthinking. Some days, it may mean accepting that you cannot control everything. Some days, it may mean forgiving yourself for not being perfect. Peace does not always look the same. Sometimes peace is quiet. Sometimes peace is courage. Sometimes peace is discipline. Sometimes peace is letting go. Sometimes peace is walking away. Sometimes peace is facing the truth. Sometimes peace is simply taking one deep breath before you break down. This is why you must understand peace deeply. Peace is not weakness. Peace is not laziness. Peace is not pretending nothing matters. Peace is inner balance. Peace is the ability to stay connected to wisdom, even when life becomes difficult. A peaceful person can still work hard. A peaceful person can still protect themselves. A peaceful person can still say no. A peaceful person can still make strong decisions. But they do not let worry, anger, or fear become the driver of their life. They act from clarity, not panic. This is what you must train yourself to do. Before making a decision, ask, am I choosing from wisdom or from fear? Before speaking, ask, am I speaking from peace or from pain? Before reacting, ask, will this action create more suffering or more clarity? Before following a thought, ask, is this thought a guide or a trap? These questions bring light into the mind. They slow down the automatic habit of worry. They help you see the difference between a wise response and an emotional reaction. Many people create suffering because they let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. They are worried, so they quit too soon. They are angry, so they damage relationships. They are afraid, so they never try. They are hurt, so they close their heart completely. They are impatient, so they force what needed time. But emotions pass, decisions can remain. This is why you must train your mind to wait before reacting. Let the emotion move. Let the breath return. Let awareness come back. Then decide. In Buddhism, this is part of right mindfulness and right effort. You make effort to notice unhelpful states of mind. You make effort to let them go. You make effort to grow wholesome qualities like compassion, patience, wisdom, and calmness. This effort is not harsh. It is gentle but steady. You are not fighting yourself, you are training yourself. There is a big difference. Fighting yourself creates shame. Training yourself creates growth. Fighting yourself says, "Why am I like this?" Training yourself says, "I am learning." Fighting yourself says, "I should never worry." Training yourself says, "Worry is here, and I can practice returning." Fighting yourself makes the heart heavy. Training yourself makes the heart patient. So be patient with your mind. It has carried many fears. It has learned many patterns. It has repeated many stories. It may not become calm immediately, but it can learn. It can soften. It can become clearer. Every time you choose not to feed worry, you weaken the old habit. Every time you return to the breath, you strengthen awareness. Every time you choose gratitude, you weaken fear. Every time you choose patience, you weaken panic. Every time you choose wise action, you weaken helplessness. This is how inner peace is built, not by escaping life, but by training your mind inside life. When you wake up in the morning, your practice begins. Before the worries of the day take over, pause for a moment, take a breath. Remind yourself, today I will not let worry own my mind. I will do what I can, and I will return to peace when I forget. This simple intention can guide your day. When something stressful happens, practice again. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening?" say, "How can I respond wisely?" Instead of saying, "Everything is ruined," say, "This is one moment, not my whole life." Instead of saying, "I cannot handle this," say, "Let me take one breath and one step." When you feel overwhelmed, come back to the body. Feel your feet on the ground. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Breathe slowly. Notice the space around you. Remind yourself that you are here, not inside every imagined future. This simple grounding can bring the mind back from worry. When the day ends, reflect gently. Do not judge yourself harshly. Ask, where did I lose my peace today? Where did I return to peace today? What can I practice tomorrow? This reflection is not for self-punishment. It is for awareness. A person who reflects grows. A person who only reacts repeats the same suffering. As days pass, this practice becomes part of you. You begin to notice worry sooner. You begin to pause before reacting. You begin to choose better thoughts. You begin to stop believing every fear. You begin to understand that your mind is not your enemy. It is simply a mind that needs training, kindness, and direction. This is very important. Do not hate your mind for worrying. Your mind is trying to protect you, but sometimes it protects you in unhealthy ways. It imagines danger because it wants you to be safe. It repeats problems because it wants you to be prepared. But when protection becomes constant fear, it stops helping you and starts hurting you. So do not attack the worried mind. Guide it. Say, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I do not need to live in fear right now." Say, "I hear this worry, but I choose to return to this moment." Say, "I can prepare without panicking. I can care without overthinking. I can be responsible without losing my peace." This gentle way of speaking to yourself matters. Many people speak to themselves with cruelty. They call themselves weak, stupid, useless, broken, or hopeless. But harsh words do not create peace. They create more suffering. If you want the mind to become peaceful, you must stop treating yourself like an enemy. Buddhism teaches compassion, and compassion must also include yourself. Be compassionate toward the part of you that worries. Be compassionate toward the part of you that is afraid. Be compassionate toward the part of you that is tired. This does not mean you allow worry to control you. It means you guide yourself with kindness instead of shame. A child who is afraid does not need someone shouting at them. They need a calm voice. Your worried mind also needs a calm voice. It needs awareness. It needs patience. It needs reassurance. It needs training. When you learn to meet yourself this way, peace becomes easier to return to. There will still be difficult days. There will still be moments when worry feels strong. There will still be nights when your thoughts feel loud. But now you will have a path. You will know what to do. You will breathe. You will observe. You will question the thought. You will return to the present. You will take one wise step. You will let go of what cannot be carried. This is the path of inner freedom. Before you die, learn how to train your mind, because an untrained mind can turn even a good life into suffering. It can find fear in peaceful moments. It can find lack in abundance. It can find danger in silence. It can find pain in memory. It can create storms where life has only given clouds. But a trained mind can bring peace even into difficult situations. It can find gratitude in simple things. It can find lessons in pain. It can find patience in waiting. It can find strength in uncertainty. It can find stillness in the middle of life's noise. Your mind shapes your experience of life. This is why training it is not small work. It is one of the most important things you can ever do. Do not spend your whole life only training your body, your career, your image, or your outer success while leaving your mind wild and restless. A strong body with a worried mind still suffers. A successful life with a restless mind still feels empty. A beautiful home with an anxious mind still does not feel peaceful. Peace begins in the mind. Train the mind to pause. Train the mind to breathe. Train the mind to see thoughts as thoughts. Train the mind to return to gratitude. Train the mind to accept change. Train the mind to let go. Train the mind to choose peace again and again. And remember, this practice is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming awake. You may still worry, but you will not worship worry. You may still feel fear, but you will not let fear rule your life. You may still face uncertainty, but you will not abandon the present moment. You may still have problems, but you will not forget that peace is possible even now. This is the gift of Buddhist wisdom. It does not promise that life will become free from pain. It teaches you how to meet pain without creating extra suffering. It does not promise that the future will be certain. It teaches you how to live peacefully without needing complete certainty. It does not promise that thoughts will disappear. It teaches you how to stop being controlled by them. So choose peace today. Choose it when your mind is loud. Choose it when life feels uncertain. Choose it when worry tries to pull you into fear. Choose it when old habits return. Choose it when the world feels heavy. Choose it when you forget, and then remember again. Every time you choose peace, you are not wasting your life in worry. You are returning to life. You are returning to breath. You are returning to awareness. You are returning to the quiet strength that has always been inside you. One day, your life will end. And when that day comes, you will not wish you had spent more time worrying. You will wish you had breathed more deeply, loved more gently, lived more fully, and protected your peace more carefully. So do not wait until the end to learn this. Train your mind now. Return to peace now. Stop giving your best years to fear. Stop letting worry become the master of your life. You are still here. You are still breathing. You can still begin again. And every new breath is another chance to choose peace. Lesson 10. Remember that life is too short to spend it worrying. One of the most powerful truths in Buddhism is also one of the truths most people avoid. Life is temporary. Your time here is not endless. This body will not stay young forever. These days will not keep returning forever. The people around you will not always be here in the same way. The ordinary moments you ignore today will one day become memories. This truth is not meant to make you afraid. It is meant to wake you up. Many people think about death only with fear, but Buddhism teaches us to think about death with wisdom. When you remember that life is short, you begin to understand what truly matters. You stop giving your whole heart to small worries. You stop wasting your mind on things that will not matter in the end. You stop treating every problem like it is the whole universe. Because one day, you will look back and realize that many of the things you worried about were not worth your peace. Many fears were only passing clouds. Many problems changed with time. Many opinions you feared disappeared from your life. Many situations that felt unbearable became memories. Many things you thought would destroy you only became lessons, but the time you spent worrying never came back. This is why worry is so costly. It does not only take your peace, it takes your life, moment by moment. Every hour you spend trapped in fear is an hour you do not fully live. Every day you spend overthinking is a day you do not fully feel. Every year you spend waiting for perfect certainty is a year you do not fully experience. Worry makes life pass while you are mentally absent. You may still go to work, you may still eat, you may still speak to people, you may still smile sometimes, but deep inside you are not fully living. Your mind is always somewhere else. It is in tomorrow's fear, yesterday's regret, next month's problem, or some imagined future pain. Your body is present, but your soul feels far away. This is one of the saddest ways to live. Buddhism reminds us that the present moment is precious because it is all we truly have. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not promised. This moment is the only place where life can be touched. If you keep abandoning this moment for worry, then life will keep slipping through your hands. Think about a person who spends years worrying about the future. They worry about money, people, failure, health, age, loss, and what others think. They keep saying, I will live peacefully later. I will enjoy life later. I will rest later. I will be happy later. But later keeps moving farther away. One problem ends, another begins. One fear disappears, another appears. One responsibility finishes, another arrives. And then suddenly, years have passed. The face in the mirror has changed. The body feels different. Some people are gone. Some chances are gone. Some seasons of life will never return. And the person realizes with deep pain that they were waiting for a perfect time that never came. Do not let this become your story. Do not wait until old age to understand that life was happening every day. Do not wait until loss teaches you to value what you have. Do not wait until your body becomes weak to appreciate your breath. Do not wait until silence fills a room to appreciate the voices you hear today. Do not wait until the end to realize that worry was never worth your whole life. Life is too short to spend every day mentally fighting things that may never happen. This does not mean you should become careless. It does not mean you ignore your responsibilities. It does not mean you stop planning, working, healing, or improving. It means you stop turning every responsibility into suffering. You stop treating every uncertainty as danger. You stop allowing worry to take more from you than the actual problem ever could. A wise person still prepares. A wise person still works. A wise person still makes careful choices. But a wise person does not allow fear to become the master of their mind. There is a deep difference between wise concern and destructive worry. Wise concern says, let me take care of what needs attention. Destructive worry says, let me suffer endlessly over what I cannot control. Wise concern leads to action. Destructive worry leads to exhaustion. Wise concern respects life. Destructive worry steals life. You must learn this difference before life passes by. When a problem comes, ask yourself, what can I do? If there is something to do, do it with calmness. If there is nothing to do right now, return to your breath. Return to the present. Return to the life that is still here. Do not keep punishing yourself with thoughts that do not help you. Many people believe that if they stop worrying, they are being irresponsible. They think worry proves they care. But worry does not prove love. Worry does not prove strength. Worry does not prove wisdom. Sometimes worry only proves that the mind has forgotten how to trust, how to pause, and how to live. You can care without worrying yourself sick. You can love without controlling. You can plan without panicking. You can work hard without hating the present. You can prepare for the future without abandoning today. This is the balance Buddhism teaches. Life is not asking you to ignore reality. Life asking you to stop adding unnecessary suffering to reality. A situation may already be difficult, but worry makes it heavier. A problem may already need attention, but overthinking makes it more painful. A future may already be uncertain, but fear makes it feel impossible. The real problem is sometimes not life itself, but the extra suffering the mind creates around life. For example, if you have a difficult task, the task itself may take 1 hour. But the worry about the task may torture you for 3 days before you even begin. If you must have a serious conversation, the conversation may last 10 minutes, but your mind may imagine it 100 times before it happens. If you make one mistake, the mistake may be small, but your mind may replay it for weeks until it becomes part of your identity. This is how the mind creates more pain than the actual event. Buddhism teaches us to see this clearly. When you see clearly, you stop feeding unnecessary suffering. You still face what must be faced, but you do not mentally suffer 10 times before the real moment arrives. You tell yourself, I will meet life when it comes. I will not live every possible pain before it happens. This sentence alone can save your peace, because most worry is not about what is happening. It is about what might happen. It is about imaginary arguments, imaginary failures, imaginary losses, imaginary disasters, and imaginary judgments. The mind creates a full world of fear, and the body reacts as if that world is real. But right now, in this moment, many of those fears are not happening. Right now, you may be breathing. Right now, you may be safe. Right now, you may have enough for this moment. Right now, life may not be perfect, but it is still here. And if life is still here, then there is still something to notice, something to learn, something to appreciate, and something to live. This is why the present moment is so important. The present moment does not ask you to solve your whole life at once. It only asks you to be here. It asks you to breathe. It asks you to see what is real. It asks you to take one step. It asks you to stop abandoning yourself for a future that has not arrived. When you return to the present, worry begins to lose its grip. Not because every problem disappears, but because you stop giving your entire mind to imagined suffering. You begin to understand that life is not meant to be lived all at once. You cannot live the next 10 years today. You cannot solve every future difficulty today. You cannot control every outcome today. You cannot answer every unknown today. You can only live this day with awareness, and that is enough. One mindful day is more valuable than 100 days lost in fear. One peaceful breath is more healing than hours of overthinking. One real moment of presence is more alive than a whole day spent trapped inside imaginary problems. This is why you must stop delaying your life. Do not say, I will enjoy life after everything is solved. Everything may never be solved. Do not say, I will be peaceful when the future is clear. The future may never be fully clear. Do not say, I will live when I feel completely ready. You may never feel completely ready. Live now, even while you are learning. Live now, even while you are healing. Live now, even while some things are uncertain. Live now, even while your life is unfinished. Because life is always unfinished. There will always be more to do, more to learn, more to fix, more to understand. If you wait until there is nothing left to worry about, you will never begin living. The art of life is learning how to live even while there are unfinished things. You can still smile while you are growing. You can still breathe while you are solving problems. You can still feel grateful while you are waiting. You can still enjoy simple moments while you are working toward a better future. This is not denial. This is wisdom. Worry tells you that you must choose between responsibility and happiness. But Buddhism shows another path. You can be responsible and present. You can work and breathe. You can care and stay calm. You can prepare and still appreciate today. The middle way is not extreme. It does not say, ignore everything. It does not say control everything. It says see clearly, act wisely, let go gently, live fully. This is how you protect your life from worry. Every morning when you wake up, remember that this day is not ordinary. You may have lived many mornings before, but this exact morning will never come again. The light, the air, your age, your body, your thoughts, your surroundings, this stage of life, all of it is passing. This does not mean you must be perfect today. It means you must be awake today. Wake up to the fact that you are alive. Wake up to the breath entering your body. Wake up to the people you still have. Wake up to the chances still available. Wake up to the simple blessings you keep ignoring because worry makes your eyes blind. A worried mind always searches for what is missing. An awakened mind notices what remains. What remains in your life right now? Maybe not everything is perfect. Maybe you still have problems. Maybe you still have fear. Maybe you still have goals that feel far away. But what is still here? Your breath is here. This day is here. The possibility of change is here. The chance to begin again is here. The ability to choose one peaceful thought is here. Do not ignore what remains because you are obsessed with what is missing. Gratitude does not mean you have everything. Gratitude means you are awake enough to see that life still contains gifts, even in imperfect seasons. Gratitude is one of the strongest medicines for worry because it trains the mind to see more than fear. Worry says, look at what could go wrong. Gratitude says, look at what is still good. Worry says, you do not have enough. Gratitude says, you still have something worth noticing. Worry says, life is only pressure. Gratitude says, life is also breath, beauty, kindness, and small moments of peace. The more you practice gratitude, the more your mind becomes balanced. It does not mean fear disappears forever, but fear no longer controls the whole picture. You start to see life more honestly. Yes, there are problems, but there are also blessings. Yes, there is uncertainty, but there is also this moment. Yes, there is pain, but there is also healing. Yes, there is loss, but there is also love. Yes, there is change, but there is also the chance to grow. This balanced seeing is wisdom. Many people only see one side of life. When they worry, they see only danger. When they are hurt, they see only pain. When they fail, they see only failure. But Buddhism trains the mind to see more deeply. It teaches you not to be trapped by one emotion, one thought, one fear, or one season. Life is larger than this worry. You must remind yourself of this again and again. When worry says this problem is everything, answer, no, this problem is part of life, but it is not all of life. When worry says, this fear is the truth, answer, no, this fear is a thought, not the whole truth. When worry says, you cannot be peaceful until everything changes, answer, no, I can return to peace in this moment. This is how you train the mind to stop wasting life. Before your life ends, make sure you did not spend your days worshipping fear. Make sure you did not give your best years to imaginary disasters. Make sure you did not ignore love because you were busy overthinking. Make sure you did not miss the beauty of ordinary days because your mind was always chasing future certainty. One day, the things you worry about today may feel small. One day, the people you try to impress may not even be part of your life. One day, the problems that feel huge may become memories. One day, the fears that control you may seem unnecessary. But the peace you lost, the moments you missed, and the time you wasted will not return. This is not meant to create regret. It is meant to create awakening. You can change today. You can begin today. You can choose differently today. You can take one breath and say, I will not give my whole life to worry. You can decide that even if worry appears, it will not own you. Even if fear speaks, it will not lead you. Even if life is uncertain, you will not abandon the present moment. This is your power, not the power to control everything, but the power to return, the power to breathe, the power to see clearly, the power to act wisely, the power to let go, the power to live today instead of losing it to tomorrow's fears. Buddhism does not promise that you will never face pain. It teaches you not to create extra pain through attachment, resistance, and unconscious thinking. It does not promise that life will always be easy. It teaches you how to meet life with awareness. It does not promise that worry will never appear. It teaches you how not to be controlled by worry. This is enough to change everything. Because when worry no longer controls your life, you become free to actually live. You become free to enjoy small things. You become free to love without fear owning your heart. You become free to work without constant panic. You become free to rest without guilt. You become free to face uncertainty without losing yourself. And slowly, life begins to feel different. The same morning feels softer. The same breath feels deeper. The same meal feels more meaningful. The same walk feels more peaceful. The same silence feels less empty. Not because the whole world changed, but because your relationship with your mind changed. This is the real transformation. You do not always need a new life. Sometimes you need a new way of seeing the life you already have. A worried mind turns life into a burden. An aware mind turns life into a practice. A grateful mind turns life into a gift. So remember this truth every day. Life is short, and worry is not worth all of it. Give some time to planning, but do not give your whole soul to fear. Give attention to problems, but do not forget the blessings. Give effort to your future, but do not abandon your present. Give care to people, but do not lose yourself trying to control them. Give respect to life's uncertainty, but do not bow down to it like a prisoner. You are allowed to live with a lighter heart. You are allowed to put down what is too heavy. You are allowed to breathe before everything is solved. You are allowed to feel peace before the future is clear. You are allowed to enjoy today even if tomorrow is unknown. At the end of your life, you will not measure your days only by how many problems you solved. You will also feel the weight of how many moments you truly lived. Did you notice the mornings? Did you appreciate the people who loved you? Did you listen deeply? Did you breathe fully? Did you allow yourself to feel peace? Did you live with awareness, or did worry carry your mind away from your own life? These questions matter, because the goal is not only to survive until the end. The goal is to be awake while you are here. The goal is to live with a mind that knows what matters. The goal is to face life without letting fear steal every beautiful moment. So from today, practice living before worrying. When your mind runs to the future, bring it back. When fear becomes loud, breathe. When uncertainty appears, take one step. When your heart feels heavy, let go of what you cannot carry. When life feels ordinary, look again, because ordinary life is still life, and life is precious. Do not die without learning how to stop worrying. Do not die without learning how to be present. Do not die without learning how to enjoy a simple breath, a quiet morning, a kind word, a peaceful evening, and the gift of one more day. Worry will always try to convince you that life is dangerous, incomplete, and not ready to be lived yet. But wisdom will remind you that life is already here. Your breath is already here. This moment is already here. The chance to begin again is already here. Choose wisdom, choose presence, choose peace. Choose to live before time teaches you the value of what you had. Because one day, there will be no more tomorrows to worry about. And when that day comes, may your heart be able to say, I did not let fear steal my whole life. I learned to breathe. I learned to let go. I learned to live. Lesson 11. Make peace with uncertainty. One of the biggest reasons people worry is because they want to know everything before it happens. They want to know how life will turn out. They want to know who will stay. They want to know whether their plans will succeed. They want to know if they will be safe, loved, accepted, successful, and happy in the future. But life does not give every answer early. This is why uncertainty feels so uncomfortable. The mind wants a guarantee, but life gives a moment. The mind wants the full road, but life gives one step. The mind wants complete safety, but life teaches us to walk with awareness even when everything is not clear. Buddhism teaches us that uncertainty is not an accident in life. It is part of life. Everything is changing. Nothing is fully fixed. Nothing is completely under our control. Even the things that feel stable today can become different tomorrow. This is not meant to scare us. It is meant to teach us how to live with open eyes and a calm heart. Most people suffer because they believe uncertainty is the enemy. They think, if I do not know what will happen, I cannot be peaceful. But if you need complete certainty before you allow yourself to feel peace, then peace will always be far away, because life will always contain unknowns. You do not know exactly what tomorrow will bring. You do not know how every person will behave. You do not know which plan will work perfectly. You do not know what changes life will bring in the next year. But this does not mean you must live in fear. It only means you must learn how to live wisely inside the unknown. There is a deep difference between being uncertain and being unsafe. Many times, you are not in danger. You are only uncomfortable because you do not know what will happen next. The mind treats the unknown like danger, even when there is no real danger in this present moment. This is why worry becomes so strong. The mind looks at an empty space in the future and fills it with fear. It does not say, maybe things will work out. It says, what if everything goes wrong? It does not say, maybe I will learn and grow. It says, what if I fail? It does not say, maybe life will open a new path. It says, what if I lose everything? The future is empty, but worry paints it with darkness. Buddhism teaches us to notice this habit. When the mind imagines the worst, we do not have to believe it immediately. We can pause and ask, do I know this will happen, or is my mind only afraid? This question creates space. It helps us see that fear is not the same as truth. You may not know what will happen, but not knowing does not mean something bad will happen. It simply means you do not know yet. This simple understanding can bring great peace. Many people destroy their present moment because they are trying to solve an entire future that has not arrived. They sit in today and mentally fight tomorrow. They try to answer questions that life has not answered yet. They try to control chapters that have not been written yet. They suffer over things that may never happen. But Buddhism teaches us to return to the present. The present moment is where your real life exists. The future may be uncertain, but this breath is real. This moment is real. The step in front of you is real. The choice you can make today is real. When uncertainty feels heavy, do not ask your mind to solve your whole life. Ask yourself, what is the next wise step? That is enough. You do not need to know every step. You only need the next step. If you are worried about your future, take one action today. If you are worried about your health, make one healthier choice today. If you are worried about money, make one practical plan today. If you are worried about a relationship, communicate with honesty today. If you are worried about your purpose, learn something useful today. The mind wants to jump 10 years ahead. Wisdom brings you back to one step. This is how uncertainty becomes less frightening. You stop trying to control the whole future and begin responding wisely to the present. You stop asking for complete certainty and begin building inner stability. You stop waiting for life to promise you safety and begin trusting your ability to handle life one moment at a time. Inner stability is very important. When you do not have inner stability, every uncertain thing shakes you. A delayed reply makes you anxious. A small problem feels huge. A change in plan feels like disaster. Someone's opinion ruins your whole day. A future possibility becomes a mountain of fear. But when your mind becomes more stable, you still feel uncertainty, but you do not collapse under it. You can say, I do not know what will happen, but I can stay calm. I do not have all the answers, but I can take one step. I cannot control everything, but I can choose my response. This is real strength. A strong person is not someone who knows everything. A strong person is someone who can remain present, even when they do not know everything. A peaceful person is not someone whose future is fully guaranteed. A peaceful person is someone who has stopped demanding guarantees before they breathe. Buddhism invites us to become comfortable with not knowing. This does not mean we stop learning. It does not mean we stop preparing. It means we stop turning the unknown into suffering. We learn to say, I do not know yet, and that is okay. I will meet life as it comes. These words may feel simple, but they can soften the heart. I do not know yet, and that is okay. Say this when your mind wants to panic. Say this when the future feels unclear. Say this when life is changing faster than you expected. Say this when you are waiting for an answer. Say this when you feel pressure to have everything figured out. You do not need to know everything today. Many people live under the pressure of having their whole life figured out. They think they must know exactly where they are going, exactly who will be with them, exactly how things will work, exactly when success will come, and exactly how every problem will end. But life rarely works with that kind of certainty. Sometimes you only understand your path after walking it. Sometimes you only understand the lesson after the pain. Sometimes you only see the reason after the season has passed. Sometimes the meaning is hidden while you are still inside the experience. This is why patience is necessary. Buddhism teaches patience not as weakness, but as wisdom. Patience means you do not force life to reveal everything before its time. Patience means you allow things to unfold. Patience means you do your part without demanding immediate results. Patience means you trust that clarity often comes slowly. A worried mind hates patience. It wants answers now. It wants proof now. It wants relief now. It wants the future to become safe now. But wisdom knows that some things cannot be rushed. A flower cannot be forced open without damaging it. A seed cannot become a tree overnight. A wound cannot heal instantly just because you are tired of hurting. Some answers need time. While you wait, do not waste your life in worry. Use the waiting season to become wiser. Use uncertainty to build patience. Use the unknown to practice trust. Use the silence to understand yourself. Use the delay to strengthen your discipline. Use the difficulty to deepen your awareness. Uncertainty does not have to become your prison. It can become your training ground. When you do not know what will happen, you can practice breathing. When you do not know what others will choose, you can practice letting go. When you do not know when success will come, you can practice consistency. When you do not know why something ended, you can practice acceptance. When you do not know what life is doing, you can practice presence. This is how the path changes you. The purpose of Buddhist practice is not to make life completely predictable. It is to make the mind more awake, more balanced, and more peaceful inside the unpredictable nature of life. Because life will always surprise you. Sometimes in painful ways, sometimes in beautiful ways. Sometimes the thing you feared does not happen. Sometimes the thing you never expected becomes a blessing. Sometimes the person you thought you needed leaves, and later you discover your own strength. Sometimes the opportunity you lost makes room for a better direction. Sometimes the delay you hated protects you from rushing into the wrong path. But worry cannot see this. Worry only sees danger. Worry only sees loss. Worry only sees what might go wrong. That is why you must not let worry become the storyteller of your life. Let wisdom tell the story. Wisdom says, this is uncertain, but uncertainty is not the end. Wisdom says, this is difficult, but difficulty can teach me. Wisdom says, this is unclear, but clarity may come with time. Wisdom says, this is not what I expected, but life may still open another way. When you speak to yourself with wisdom, your heart becomes softer. You stop attacking life for being unknown. You stop attacking yourself for not having every answer. You stop treating uncertainty as proof that something is wrong. Sometimes nothing is wrong. Sometimes life is simply unfolding. A cloudy sky does not mean the sun has disappeared forever. A silent season does not mean growth has stopped. A difficult chapter does not mean the whole book is ruined. In the same way, an uncertain moment does not mean your future is hopeless. Do not make permanent judgments during temporary confusion. This is very important. When you are worried, the mind becomes dramatic. It says, this will never change. I will always feel this way. Nothing good will happen. I cannot handle this. But these thoughts are often born from fear, not truth. If you believe them too quickly, they will deepen your suffering. Instead, pause and remember, this is a moment, not forever. This is a feeling, not my whole identity. This is uncertainty, not destruction. This is a chapter, not the entire story. The more you practice this, the more freedom you feel. You begin to live with a lighter mind, because you are no longer trying to force every unknown into certainty. You are no longer demanding that life answer every question before you allow yourself to sleep. You are no longer letting the future steal your present. You begin to understand that peace is possible, even while questions remain. This is a beautiful realization. You can be peaceful without knowing everything. You can be calm without having the perfect plan. You can be grateful while still waiting. You can enjoy today while still building tomorrow. You can breathe even when life is not completely clear. This is not easy at first, because the mind has been trained to worry. It has been trained to search for danger. It has been trained to think that control equals safety. But with practice, the mind can learn another way. Every time uncertainty appears, use it as a chance to practice. Instead of saying, I hate not knowing, say, this is a chance to build trust. Instead of saying, I cannot relax until I know, say, I can breathe even while I wait. Instead of saying, what if everything goes wrong, say, what is the next wise thing I can do? This is how you transform uncertainty from fear into practice. You may not be able to control tomorrow, but you can choose not to destroy today. You may not be able to force answers, but you can choose patience. You may not be able to remove every unknown, but you can choose awareness. You may not be able to guarantee success, but you can choose effort. These choices matter. A life of peace is built from small choices repeated many times. One breath instead of panic. One wise step instead of endless overthinking. One moment of gratitude instead of fear. One act of patience instead of forcing. One return to the present instead of being lost in tomorrow. Slowly, you become less afraid of uncertainty. Not because life becomes fully predictable, but because you become more grounded. You learn that you can face unclear moments without losing yourself. You learn that not knowing is uncomfortable, but it is not unbearable. You learn that life can still be meaningful, even when it is not completely understood. This is maturity of the soul. A child wants every answer immediately. A restless mind wants every guarantee instantly. But a wise heart learns to wait without collapsing. It learns to walk without seeing the whole road. It learns to breathe without controlling the wind. It learns to live without owning the future. Before you die, learn how to make peace with uncertainty. Because if you do not, worry will follow you everywhere. Even when life is good, you will worry about losing it. Even when people love you, you will worry about them leaving. Even when things are improving, you will worry about what might go wrong. Even when you are safe, you will search for danger. A mind that cannot accept uncertainty can never fully rest. But a mind that makes peace with uncertainty begins to taste freedom. It no longer needs life to be perfectly predictable before it can feel calm. It no longer needs every person to behave perfectly before it can feel secure. It no longer needs every future answer before it can enjoy today. This is how you reclaim your life from worry. You stop saying, "I must know everything." You begin saying, "I can live wisely with what I know now." You stop saying, "I must control everything." You begin saying, "I can respond peacefully to what comes." You stop saying, "The unknown is dangerous." You begin saying, "The unknown is part of life, and I can meet it one step at a time." This shift changes your whole inner world. You become more patient with life. You become more gentle with yourself. You become less reactive to change. You stop trying to force answers from every silence. You stop creating fear from every delay. You stop believing that uncertainty means you are lost. Sometimes being uncertain does not mean you are lost. Sometimes it means you are growing. Sometimes it means you are between chapters. Sometimes it means life is preparing something your mind cannot yet see. Sometimes it means you are learning to trust your own inner strength instead of needing constant outside proof. So let uncertainty teach you instead of terrify you. Let it teach you patience. Let it teach you presence. Let it teach you humility. Let it teach you that you are not the controller of everything. Let it teach you that peace can exist even in the middle of unanswered questions. At night, when your mind starts asking too many questions, place a hand on your heart and breathe. Say to yourself, "I do not know everything tonight, and that is okay. I release the need to solve my whole future right now. I allow my body to rest. I allow my mind to soften. What needs action will be handled in time. What is not in my control, I release." This practice is simple, but it is powerful. It teaches the mind that not every unknown needs to become fear. It teaches the body that it can relax even when life is unfinished. It teaches the heart that peace does not have to wait for perfect certainty. In the morning, begin again. Do not wake up and immediately give your mind to future fear. Take one breath. Look at the day in front of you. Ask, what is mine to do today? Not next year, not forever. Today, this question brings you back to the path. Maybe today your task is to work with honesty. Maybe it is to take care of your health. Maybe it is to speak kindly. Maybe it is to be patient. Maybe it is to rest. Maybe it is to learn. Maybe it is simply to survive this day without letting worry win. That is enough. You do not need to conquer the whole future today. You only need to meet this day with awareness. Uncertainty will still exist, but you will no longer bow down to it as if it is your master. You will walk with it. You will breathe through it. You will learn from it. You will act where you can and let go where you must. This is the Buddhist way of living with the unknown, not by fighting life, not by controlling every outcome, not by mentally suffering before anything happens, but by staying awake, staying present, and staying kind toward yourself. The future will come when it comes. Some things will work out. Some things will change. Some things will surprise you. Some things will teach you. But you do not have to live all of it today. Today you only have to breathe. Today you only have to take one wise step. Today you only have to return to peace when worry pulls you away. And if you can do that, even slowly, even imperfectly, you are already learning how to stop worrying. You are already learning how to live, so make peace with uncertainty. Let life be life. Let the future unfold in its own time. Let your heart stop demanding every answer before it rests. You are here now. You are breathing now. This moment is enough to begin again. And sometimes the deepest peace comes not from finally knowing everything, but from realizing you do not need to know everything to be alive, present, and free. Lesson 12. Turn worry into wise action. One of the most important lessons in Buddhism is learning the difference between thinking and acting. Many people believe they are solving their problems because they keep thinking about them. They repeat the same thoughts again and again. They imagine every possible outcome. They replay every fear. They ask themselves the same painful questions all day and night. But thinking is not always solving. Sometimes thinking becomes worry, and worry becomes suffering. Worry makes you feel busy inside, but it does not always move your life forward. Your mind may feel active, but your life remains stuck. You may spend hours thinking about a problem, but at the end of the day, nothing has changed except your heart feels heavier and your body feels more tired. This is why Buddhism teaches awareness. Awareness helps you see whether your mind is being useful or simply creating more pain. A wise mind asks, "What can I do now?" A worried mind asks, "What if everything goes wrong?" A wise mind looks for the next step. A worried mind keeps walking in circles. There is a deep difference between wise reflection and useless overthinking. Wise reflection brings clarity. Useless overthinking brings confusion. Wise reflection helps you choose. Useless overthinking makes you afraid to choose. Wise reflection is calm and honest. Useless overthinking is restless and fearful. If you want to stop worrying, you must learn how to turn worry into wise action. This does not mean you must solve your whole life immediately. It means you stop letting worry trap you in the mind. You bring your attention back to what can actually be done. You ask yourself, is there one small step I can take? If there is, take it. If there is not, then breathe, release, and stop punishing yourself with thoughts that do not help. Many people suffer because they confuse worry with effort. They think, if I worry about this all day, maybe I am doing something. But worry is not the same as effort. Worry can make you feel like you are carrying responsibility, but in reality, it often steals the energy you need to act wisely. For example, if you are worried about your future, worrying for 10 hours will not build your future. But learning a skill for 1 hour can. If you are worried about your health, worrying all night will not heal your body. But eating better, sleeping earlier, walking, or asking for help can be useful steps. If you are worried about money, repeating fear in your mind will not improve your situation. But making a plan, reducing waste, learning something valuable, or taking practical action can help. Worry talks, wisdom moves. This is not harsh, this is freedom. Because once you understand this, you stop giving your energy to thoughts that only hurt you. You begin using your energy for steps that can actually help you. In Buddhism, right effort is very important. Right effort means using your energy wisely. It means not feeding unhelpful states of mind. It means not allowing fear, anger, greed, jealousy, and worry to grow stronger inside you. It also means growing helpful qualities like patience, kindness, discipline, awareness, and wisdom. When worry appears, you can practice right effort by asking, what is the wholesome action here? Not the fearful action, not the desperate action, not the reaction that comes from panic, the wise action. Sometimes the wise action is to speak honestly. Sometimes it is to stay silent until your mind is calm. Sometimes it is to work. Sometimes it is to rest. Sometimes it is to apologize. Sometimes it is to walk away. Sometimes it is to plan. Sometimes it is to wait. Sometimes it is simply to breathe and not make things worse. Wise action does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it is very small. But small wise actions repeated over time can change a life. A worried person wants one huge solution that removes all fear forever. But a wise person understands that peace is built through small correct steps. One breath, one choice, one honest conversation, one healthy habit, one moment of patience, one act of courage, one refusal to feed fear. This is how life changes. Many people stay trapped because they keep asking questions that have no answer right now. They ask, will everything work out? They ask, what if I fail? They ask, what if people judge me? They ask, what if the future becomes painful? They ask, what if I am not strong enough? These questions may feel urgent, but often they do not lead anywhere. They only create more fear. Instead, ask better questions. Ask, what can I do today? Ask, what is in my control? Ask, what is the next peaceful step? Ask, what action would reduce this problem, even a little? Ask, what thought do I need to stop feeding? Ask, what would wisdom do right now? The quality of your questions changes the quality of your mind. Fearful questions create fearful answers. Wise questions create direction. If your mind keeps asking, what if I fail? Answer with action. Then I will learn, adjust, and continue. If your mind asks, what if people judge me? Answer with wisdom. Their judgment is not my whole life. If your mind asks, what if tomorrow is difficult? Answer with presence. Then I will meet tomorrow when it comes. Today I will do what I can. This is how you train your mind to stop drowning in worry. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel fearless before they act. They say, I will start when I feel confident. I will move when I walk already. I will speak when I feel no fear. I will change when worry disappears. But if you wait for worry to disappear completely before taking action, you may wait for years. Courage does not mean worry is absent. Courage means you take the right step even while worry is present. Buddhism teaches that all feelings arise and pass. Fear arises and passes. Doubt arises and passes. Worry arises and passes. You do not have to wait for a perfect emotional state before you live wisely. You can feel worry and still take calm step. You can feel doubt and still choose discipline. You can feel fear and still act with honesty. The key is not to let fear make the decision. When fear makes the decision, you hide. You delay, you avoid, you overthink, you give up too soon. You stay in painful situations because the unknown scares you. You refuse to try because failure scares you. You refuse to change because discomfort scares you. But when wisdom makes the decision, you may still feel fear, but you do not obey it blindly. You listen, you breathe, you observe, and then you choose what is right. This is a powerful way to live. Imagine you are worried about a problem. The worried mind wants to keep repeating, what if this gets worse? But the wise mind says, let me write down the problem clearly. Then it asks, what part of this can I control? Then it asks, what is one step I can take today? This simple process takes you out of mental fog and brings you back to clarity. Many worries become less powerful when you write them down or speak them clearly. Inside the mind, worry can feel huge and endless. But when you put it into words, you can see it more honestly. You may realize that the problem is smaller than it felt. Or you may realize that there is a clear step you were avoiding. Or you may realize that the worry is not based on facts, but on imagination. Awareness turns confusion into clarity. A simple practice is this. When you feel worried, pause and divide your worry into two parts. First, what is real? Second, what is imagined? What is real may be something like, I have a task to complete. What is imagined may be, if I do not do it perfectly, everyone will reject me. What is real may be, someone has not replied yet. What is imagined may be, they hate me and will leave forever. What is real may be, I made a mistake. What is imagined may be, my whole life is ruined. This practice helps you stop treating imagination like reality. Once you see what is real, you can act. Once you see what is imagined, you can release. This is wise action. Buddhism teaches us not to be fooled by the mind's stories. The mind can create a full world of fear from one small situation. It can take one delay and create rejection. It can take one mistake and create failure. It can take one uncertain moment and create disaster. But awareness helps you see, this is a story. This is not the whole truth. Then you can return to what matters. Ask yourself, what is the next step that reduces suffering? This is a very Buddhist question. Because the purpose of practice is to reduce suffering, not increase it. If a thought increases suffering and gives no wisdom, stop feeding it. If an action reduces suffering and brings clarity, take it. Sometimes the next step is very practical. Make the call. Clean the room, finish the work, drink water, rest your body, apologize, ask for help, study, save money, create a plan. Step away from toxic conversation, turn off the phone, sit in silence. Breathe. Do not look down on small actions. Worry often grows when life feels chaotic. Small actions restore order. A clean space can calm the mind. A written plan can reduce fear. A completed task can give confidence. A simple conversation can remove misunderstanding. A healthy routine can strengthen the body and mind. Peace is not only created through deep thoughts, it is also created through right action. Many people want peace, but they keep living in ways that feed worry. They sleep late, consume negative content, compare themselves constantly, avoid important tasks, keep unhealthy relationships, ignore their body, and then wonder why their mind feels restless. If your daily actions are feeding stress, your mind will struggle to feel peaceful. This is why wise action matters. You cannot only tell your mind to be calm. You must also build a life that supports calmness. You must reduce unnecessary chaos where you can. You must stop inviting avoidable suffering into your day. You must protect your attention. You must choose habits that make peace easier. If you keep feeding your mind with fear, noise, drama, comparison, and distraction, worry will grow. But if you feed your mind with silence, discipline, gratitude, simplicity, and mindful action, peace will grow. This does not mean you need a perfect life. It means you make small choices that help your mind become lighter. For example, when you wake up, do not immediately give your mind to fear. Do not begin the day by filling yourself with comparison, bad news, and endless scrolling. Start with one breath. Start with one clear intention. Start with one small act of order. This teaches the mind that the day belongs to awareness, not worry. During the day, when worry appears, do not let it pull you into endless thinking. Ask what action is needed. If action is needed, do it. If no action is possible right now, return to your breath. This simple rule can save you from hours of unnecessary suffering. At night, do not carry every unfinished worry into sleep. Write down what needs to be handled tomorrow. Then let the mind rest. Say, I have done what I can today. Tomorrow will be handled tomorrow. This is not laziness, this is wisdom. A tired mind cannot solve everything clearly. Sometimes rest is the wise action. Many people feel guilty for resting because worry tells them, you should be doing more. But rest is not always escape. Sometimes rest is preparation. A calm body supports a calm mind. A rested mind can make better decisions. If you keep pushing yourself while exhausted, worry becomes stronger because the mind has no strength to stay balanced. So wise action also includes knowing when to stop. This is part of the middle way. Do not be lazy, but do not destroy yourself. Do not avoid responsibility, but do not carry responsibility in a way that breaks your spirit. Do not ignore problems, but do not turn problems into your whole identity. The middle way teaches balance. Turn worry into action, but do not become obsessed with action. Sometimes you act, sometimes you wait, sometimes you speak, sometimes you stay silent, sometimes you push forward, sometimes you rest. The wise mind knows that the right action depends on the moment. This is why awareness must come before action. If you act from panic, you may create more suffering. If you act from anger, you may damage what matters. If you act from fear, you may choose the easiest escape instead of the wisest path. But if you pause and become aware, your action becomes cleaner. Before acting, breathe. Ask, is this coming from worry or wisdom? If it is coming from worry, slow down. If it is coming from wisdom, proceed with calmness. This single pause can change many things. It can save a relationship from a harsh word. It can save your future from a careless decision. It can save your peace from unnecessary drama. It can save your mind from days of regret. Buddhism teaches that karma is shaped by action, speech, and intention. Your choices matter, your words matter, your intentions matter. If you act from fear and confusion, you may create more confusion. If you act from awareness and compassion, you create a better path. So when worry rises, do not ask only, how do I stop feeling this? Also ask, what kind of action will I create from this feeling? This question brings responsibility back into your hands. You may not control the feeling, but you can influence the action. You may not stop worry from appearing, but you can decide whether to feed it, follow it, or transform it into wisdom. This is where your freedom lives. Freedom is not never feeling worry. Freedom is not being free from uncertainty. Freedom is the ability to choose your next step with awareness, even when worry is present. When you learn this, worry becomes less frightening. You begin to see it as a signal, not a master. Sometimes worry signals that something needs attention. Sometimes it signals that you need rest. Sometimes it signals that your mind is imagining danger. Sometimes it signals that you are attached to an outcome. Sometimes it signals that you need to return to the present. Instead of drowning in worry, you can listen wisely. Ask, what is this worry trying to show me? Maybe it is showing you an area where you need preparation. Maybe it is showing you a fear you need to release. Maybe it is showing you that you care deeply about something. Maybe it is showing you that you are trying to control what cannot be controlled. When you listen with awareness, worry can become a teacher. But when you believe it blindly, worry becomes a prison. This is the transformation Buddhism points toward. It does not say, never feel worry. It says, understand worry, learn from it, do not become its slave. A worried mind says, I am trapped. A wise mind says, what is one step? A worried mind says, everything is too fine, says, what can be handled first? A worried mind says, I cannot do this. A wise mind says, let me begin small. A worried mind says, what if I fail? A wise mind says, then I will learn. This is how you turn worry into wise action. You stop waiting for perfect peace before moving. You stop waiting for complete certainty before beginning. You stop waiting for fear to disappear before doing what is right. You move gently, carefully, and consciously. One small action can break the cycle of worry. If you are overwhelmed, clean one small area. If you are afraid of a task, work on it for 10 minutes. If you are confused, write down your thoughts. If you are lonely, send one honest message. If you are tired, rest without guilt. If you are stuck, ask for guidance. If you are angry, breathe before speaking. If you are afraid of the future, do something useful today. This is how the mind learns confidence, not through endless thinking, but through action. Every wise action tells the mind, I can respond. I am not helpless. I do not need to drown in fear. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. Peace grows when your actions align with wisdom. Strength grows when you stop escaping into overthinking and begin taking honest steps. Before you die, learn this deeply. Worry is not your purpose. You were not born only to think about what could go wrong. You were born to live, learn, act, grow, love, and awaken. Your mind is not meant to be a prison. It is meant to be a tool for wisdom. Use the mind, but do not let the mind use you. When thought is useful, use it. When thought becomes suffering, return to awareness. When worry shows a real problem, take action. When worry creates an imaginary disaster, let it go. When fear points to something important, prepare. When fear only repeats itself, breathe and release. This is the path of balance. Life will always contain problems, but you do not have to meet every problem with panic. You can meet problems with clarity. You can meet uncertainty with patience. You can meet fear with breath. You can meet responsibility with discipline. You can meet pain with compassion. You can meet worry with wise action. And slowly, you will see that you are not as powerless as worry made you believe. You can choose one thought. You can take one step. You can breathe one breath. You can make one change. You can stop one harmful habit. You can begin one helpful practice. You can return to peace one moment at a time. This is enough to begin. Do not try to fix your whole life in one day. That is another form of worry. Just ask, what is the next wise action? Then do that. After that, ask again. Then do the next step. A peaceful life is built like this, step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice. One day, you may look back and realize that your life changed, not because all worry disappeared, but because you stopped letting worry control your actions. You became someone who could feel fear and still act wisely. Someone who could face uncertainty and still remain present. Someone who could carry responsibility without losing peace. That is real growth. So when worry comes today, do not hate it and do not follow it blindly. Observe it, understand it, ask what needs action. Take the step that is yours to take. Release what is not yours to control. Then return to your breath. This is how worry becomes wisdom. This is how fear becomes practice. This is how a restless mind becomes a peaceful path. And this is how you stop wasting your life inside thoughts and begin living through awareness, courage, and wise action. Lesson 13. Stop living inside your head and come back to life. One of the most painful ways to live is to spend your whole life inside your head. Your body is here, but your mind is always somewhere else. You are sitting in the present moment, but your thoughts are running through the past, the future, old conversations, imagined problems, hidden fears, and endless questions that have no answer right now. Many people are not tired because life is always difficult. They are tired because their mind never stops. They wake up thinking. They eat while thinking. They work while thinking. They rest while thinking. They try to sleep while thinking. Even in quiet moments, their mind keeps making noise. This is how worry becomes a prison. It traps you inside your own head. Buddhism teaches that the mind can create suffering even when the present moment is not dangerous. You may be sitting safely in your room, but your mind is imagining future failure. You may be surrounded by people, but your mind is replaying old pain. You may have food in front of you, but your thoughts are focused on what is missing. You may have a peaceful evening, but your mind is fighting tomorrow before tomorrow even arrives. This is why many people forget how to live. They are alive, but they are not truly present. They hear, but they do not listen. They eat, but they do not taste. They walk, but they do not notice. They breathe, but they do not feel the breath. They spend their days thinking about life instead of actually living it. The mind is useful, but it is not meant to become your whole world. The mind can help you plan, learn, understand, and make wise decisions. But when the mind becomes uncontrolled, it turns life into a constant inner argument. It creates problems before they happen. It repeats pain after it has passed. It searches for danger even in peaceful moments. This is why Buddhism teaches mindfulness. Mindfulness means returning to what is real right now. It means coming back to your breath, your body, your steps, your senses, and the moment in front of you. It means noticing when the mind has wandered too far and gently bringing it back. Mindfulness is not complicated. It is not only for monks, temples, or silent mountains. It can happen in an ordinary room, during an ordinary day, in the middle of an ordinary life. You practice mindfulness when you drink water and truly feel the water. You practice mindfulness when you walk and notice your feet touching the ground. You practice mindfulness when you listen to someone without preparing your next worry. You practice mindfulness when you breathe and know that you are breathing. These simple moments bring you back to life. Worry pulls you away from reality. Mindfulness brings you back. When the mind is trapped in worry, it creates a second life inside you. In that second life, everything is dangerous. People are judging you. The future is falling apart. Mistakes are unforgivable. Silence means rejection. Delay means failure. Change means disaster. But this second life is not reality. It is a mental world created by fear. The real question is, how much of your life are you spending inside that mental world? How many peaceful moments have you lost because your mind was busy imagining pain? How many beautiful days have passed while you were trapped in thoughts that did not help you? How many conversations have you missed because your attention was somewhere else? How many blessings have you ignored because worry kept pointing your eyes toward fear? This is not to make you feel guilty. It is to wake you up. You can come back. No matter how long you have lived inside worry, you can still return to the present moment. You can still train your mind. You can still learn to notice life again. You can still step out of the noise in your head and come back to the world that is actually here. The first step is awareness. You must notice when you are lost in thought. Many people do not even realize they are trapped. They believe every thought. They follow every fear. They live inside the mind's stories as if those stories are reality. But the moment you notice, I am overthinking right now, something changes. You are no longer fully trapped. A small space opens. That space is the beginning of freedom. When you notice that you are overthinking, do not attack yourself. Do not say, why am I like this? Why can't I stop? I am so weak. That only creates more suffering. Instead, speak to yourself gently. Say, my mind is worried right now. I can return. Then take one breath. Feel your body. Look around. Come back to where you are. Buddhism teaches gentle awareness, not self-hatred. You do not beat the mind into peace. You guide it back with patience. Imagine a small child running into danger because they do not understand. You would not scream with hatred. You would gently bring the child back. Your mind is similar. When it runs into fear, bring it back. When it runs into the past, bring it back. When it runs into tomorrow, bring it back. Again and again, bring it back. This is the practice. Do not expect the mind to stay calm forever after one breath. The mind has been trained for years to wander, worry, compare, fear, and repeat. It will not become still in one day. But every time you return, you are training it. Every return matters. Every breath matters. Every moment of awareness matters. A peaceful mind is not built by force. It is built by returning. When you are washing your hands, be there. Feel the water. When you are eating, be there. Taste the food. When you are walking, be there. Notice the movement. When someone speaks, be there. Listen with your full attention. When you breathe, be there. Feel the breath entering and leaving. This may sound too simple, but it is powerful because worry survives by pulling you away from now. The more you practice being present, the less space worry has to control you. Most people think they need a perfect life to feel peaceful, but often they need a present mind. A simple meal can feel peaceful if your mind is present. A short walk can feel healing if your mind is present. A quiet room can feel safe if your mind is present. A deep breath can feel like medicine if your mind is present. But even a beautiful life can feel empty if your mind is never there. This is why presence matters. You may travel to beautiful places and still feel restless if worry travels with you. You may sit with kind people and still feel lonely if your mind is trapped in fear. You may achieve success and still feel empty if your attention is always focused on the next problem. You may have many blessings and still feel poor if your mind only sees what is missing. The world does not become beautiful to a mind that is always absent. So come back to your breath, come back to your body, come back to the room, come back to the people in front of you, come back to the small details of life, come back to the moment that worry keeps stealing from you. This does not mean you ignore your future. It means you stop living in the future before it arrives. This does not mean you forget the past. It means you stop dragging the past into every present moment. This does not mean you stop thinking. It means you stop letting thinking become a cage. There is a time to think, and there is a time to live. Many people have forgotten the second one. They think about happiness more than they feel it. They think about peace more than they practice it. They think about life more than they experience it. They think about change more than they take action. They think about love more than they give attention. They think about the future more than they honor today. Do not let this happen to you. If you want to stop worrying, you must stop giving the mind permission to take every moment from you. You must create small boundaries with your thoughts. When the mind says, "Let us replay this pain again," you can say, "No, I have learned from it. I return to now." When the mind says, "Let us imagine disaster again," you can say, "No, I will handle life when it comes." When the mind says, "Let us worry for another hour," you can say, "No, this moment deserves my attention." This is not easy, but it is possible. At first, worry may pull you back many times. That is okay. Every time you come back, you weaken the old habit. Every time you refuse to follow a useless thought, you strengthen your peace. Every time you choose presence, you reclaim a piece of your life. This is how you stop living inside your head. You do not need to destroy your thoughts. You only need to stop making them your home. Thoughts are visitors. Let them come and go. Worry is a visitor. Fear is a visitor. Anger is a visitor. Doubt is a visitor. But you are not required to build a house for every visitor that enters your mind. Let the thought appear, see it, breathe, let it pass. In Buddhism, this is part of understanding impermanence. Everything that arises also passes away. Thoughts arise and pass. Feelings arise and pass. Fear arises and passes. No mental state stays forever unless you keep feeding it. If you stop feeding worry with attention, repetition and belief, it begins to lose strength. This is why observation is powerful. When you observe a thought, you are no longer completely controlled by it. You can say a thought is here, not this is my truth. You can say worry is here, not my life is in danger. You can say fear is arising, not I must obey fear. This simple distance gives you freedom. Many people live as if every thought is a command. The mind says, be afraid, and they become afraid. The mind says, give up, and they stop trying. The mind says, you are not enough, and they believe it. The mind says, something bad will happen, and they suffer before anything happens. But you are allowed to question the mind. Ask, is this thought helping me live, or is it pulling me away from life? Ask, is this thought asking for wise action, or is it only repeating fear? Ask, is this thought based on reality, or is it built from imagination? Ask, do I need to follow this, or can I return to the present? These questions create light. A worried mind becomes strong in darkness. It grows when you never question it. But when awareness shines on it, worry begins to weaken. You start to see that many thoughts are not truths. They are habits, they are old patterns, they are echoes of fear. They are mental clouds passing through the sky. And you are the sky, not the cloud. When you remember this, you stop being so afraid of your own mind. You understand that a dark thought does not make you a dark person. A worried thought does not mean your life is broken. A fearful thought does not mean danger is real. A sad thought does not mean happiness is gone forever. It is only a thought. Come back to life. Life is not happening in the endless argument inside your head. Life is happening in the breath moving through your body. Life is happening in the sounds around you. Life is happening in the light touching the room. Life is happening in the people you still have. Life is happening in the small chances that appear each day. If you are always in your head, you miss these things. And one day, you may realize that the moments you ignored were the moments that mattered most. The quiet mornings, the simple meals, the ordinary talks, the small laughter, the peaceful walks, the feeling of being alive. These things may not look big while you have them, but they are the fabric of life. Do not let worry make you miss them. Practice coming back every day. When you wake up, do not immediately enter the world of thoughts. Take one breath and feel that you are alive. Before you touch your phone, before you check messages, before you invite the noise of the world into your mind, pause. Feel the morning, feel the body, feel the gift of one more day. During the day, choose small moments of presence. When you drink water, drink slowly. When you walk, walk with awareness. When you speak, speak with attention. When you listen, listen fully. When you work, do one thing at a time. When you rest, truly rest instead of mentally carrying everything. This is how you teach the mind to live again. At night, when thoughts become loud, do not enter every story. Remind yourself, this is the mind thinking. I do not have to solve everything now. Feel your body on the bed. Feel the breath. Let the day end. What is unfinished can wait. What is not in your control can be released. What needs action can be handled when the time is right. Your mind deserves rest. Your body deserves rest. Your heart deserves rest. Do not let worry steal even your sleep. Many people carry tomorrow into tonight and then wonder why they wake up tired. They turn the bed into a battlefield. The body wants rest, but the mind keeps fighting. If this happens, do not fight the thoughts harshly. Gently return to the breath, again and again. You may not fall asleep immediately, but you will stop feeding the storm. Peace often begins when you stop arguing with your mind and start observing it. Remember, you do not have to win every battle in your head. Some battles end when you stop participating. Some thoughts lose power when you stop answering them. Some worries fade when you stop giving them your whole attention. Silence can be a powerful response. Not every thought needs a debate. Not every fear needs analysis. Not every memory needs another replay. Not every worry needs to be solved at midnight. Sometimes the wisest thing you can say is, "Not now. I return to peace." This is inner discipline. Discipline is not only waking early, working hard, or achieving goals. Discipline is also refusing to let your mind drag you into useless suffering. Discipline is choosing the present moment when worry calls you away. Discipline is returning to your breath when fear wants your attention. Discipline is protecting your peace from thoughts that only harm you. This kind of discipline is quiet but powerful. If you practice it daily, you will begin to feel different. You may still have problems, but you will not live inside them all day. You may still have thoughts, but they will not own you completely. You may still worry sometimes, but you will know how to return. You will become more present, more grounded, more aware, and life will begin to feel more alive. The same sky will seem more beautiful. The same meal will feel more satisfying. The same silence will feel softer. The same breath will feel deeper. Not because everything outside changed, but because you finally came back to the moment. Presence transforms ordinary life into something sacred. Buddhism does not ask you to escape the world. It asks you to wake up inside the world. Wake up while walking. Wake up while eating. Wake up while working. Wake up while breathing. Wake up while facing difficulty. Wake up while living this ordinary, imperfect, temporary life. Because this life is passing. Every day you spend lost in your head is a day you are not fully here. Every moment you spend trapped in useless worry is a moment you cannot fully receive. And no matter how much you worry, you cannot get back the time worry has already taken. So begin now. Come back to life now. Take a breath and feel it. Look around and notice where you are. Feel your body. Listen to the sounds. Notice one thing that is real in this moment. This is where life is. Not in the fear, not in the imaginary disaster, not in the endless mental argument here. You do not need to be perfectly peaceful to return. You can return while anxious. You can return while sad. You can return while uncertain. You can return while healing. You can return while life is unfinished. The door to the present moment is always open. Before you die, learn how to leave the prison of overthinking. Learn how to stop living inside your head and come back to the life around you. Learn how to see thoughts without becoming them. Learn how to feel emotions without drowning in them. Learn how to use the mind without being used by the mind. You were not born only to think about life. You were born to live it. You were born to breathe deeply. You were born to notice beauty. You were born to feel peace in small moments. You were born to love with attention. You were born to walk this earth awake, not trapped behind the walls of worry. So when the mind becomes loud, return. Fear pulls you forward, return. When regret pulls you backward, return. When thoughts become heavy, return. When worry tries to become your whole world, return. Return to the breath. Return to the body. Return to the present. Return to life. Because the life you are searching for is not hidden somewhere far away. It is waiting here, beneath the noise of your thoughts, in this simple moment, asking you to come back and finally be alive. Lesson 14. Stop carrying other people's opinions in your mind. One of the hidden reasons people worry so much is because they are carrying too many people inside their mind. They worry about what people think. They worry about what people say. They worry about how people see them. They worry about being judged, misunderstood, rejected, criticized, or compared. And slowly, without realizing it, their own mind becomes crowded with the voices of others. Many people do not live from their own peace. They live from other people's opinions. Before they make a decision, they wonder, what will people say? Before they try something new, they wonder, what if people laugh at me? Before they express themselves, they wonder, what if they judge me? Before they rest, they wonder, will people think I am lazy? Before they change their life, they wonder, will others understand? This kind of worry is exhausting because it makes you live as if your life belongs to everyone except you. Buddhism teaches us to look deeply at attachment, and one of the strongest attachments is attachment to approval. The desire to be liked, accepted, praised, and understood can become a silent prison. You may think you are only trying to be a good person, But sometimes you are actually trying to protect yourself from judgment. You shape your words, your choices, your dreams, and even your personality around what other people might think. But no matter how carefully you live, you cannot control every opinion. Some people will misunderstand you even when your heart is clean. Some people will judge you even when you are doing your best. Some people will dislike you for reasons that have more to do with them than with you. Some people will criticize your path because they do not understand your pain, your purpose, your timing, or your inner journey. If you try to prevent every negative opinion, you will spend your whole life trapped in fear. This is why you must stop carrying other people's opinions in your mind. Not because people do not matter, but because your peace also matters. Not because you should become arrogant, but because you cannot live wisely if your mind is always asking for permission from the world. There is a difference between listening to wise advice and being controlled by people's opinions. Wise advice helps you grow. It comes from truth, care, and clarity. But random opinions often come from misunderstanding, jealousy, projection, fear, or limited thinking. If you treat every opinion as truth, your mind will never rest. One person says you are doing too much. Another says you are not doing enough. One person says you should do faster. Another says you should slow down. One person says your dream is too big. Another says your life is too small. One person praises you today. Another criticizes you tomorrow. If your peace depends on all of them agreeing with you, then your peace will never be stable. Buddhism teaches that the outside world is always changing. Praise comes and goes, blame comes and goes, approval comes and goes, rejection comes and goes. If you attach your happiness to praise, you will suffer when blame arrives. If you attach your worth to approval, you will suffer when criticism appears. If you attach your identity to how people see you, you will forget how to see yourself clearly. This does not mean you should ignore everyone. It means you must learn to listen with wisdom. Ask yourself, is this opinion helpful? Is this person speaking from wisdom? Is this criticism showing me something I need to improve, or is it only noise? Is this advice aligned with my values, or is it pulling me away from myself? These questions protect your mind. Not every voice deserves space inside your heart. Not every comment deserves your emotional energy. Not every judgment deserves a response. Not every misunderstanding needs to be corrected. Sometimes the most peaceful thing you can do is let people think what they want while you continue walking your path with awareness. Many people waste years trying to explain themselves to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. They keep talking, defending, proving, and justifying. They believe if they explain enough, people will finally see their heart. But some people do not want understanding. They want control. Some people do not want truth. They want their version of you to remain alive. You must know when to stop explaining. In Buddhism, silence can be a form of wisdom. Not every situation needs your words. Not every accusation needs your defense. Not every criticism needs your attention. Sometimes silence protects your peace better than a long explanation. Sometimes walking away is wiser than winning an argument. Sometimes accepting that people will not understand you is the beginning of freedom. This is not weakness. This is maturity. A person who is always worried about opinions becomes easy to control. People can control them with praise. People can control them with criticism. People can control them with silence. People can control them with approval. They become like a leaf in the wind, moving wherever other people's reactions push them. But a mindful person learns to stand inside their own awareness. They listen, but they do not lose themselves. They care, but they do not become a slave to approval. They reflect, but they do not collapse under criticism. They stay open to growth, but they do not allow every opinion to become their identity. This is real inner strength. Worry about people's opinions often comes from the fear of rejection. The mind says, if they do not like me, I am not enough. But this is not true. Other people's approval is not the source of your value. Your worth does not appear when people praise you, and it does not disappear when people criticize you. Their opinion is an experience. It is not your essence. In Buddhism, we learn to see the self more lightly. Much of our suffering comes from clinging to an image of who we think we must be. We want to be seen as successful, kind, strong, wise, attractive, important, or respected. When someone threatens that image, worry rises. We become afraid that our image will break. But peace begins when you stop living for an image. You do not need to appear perfect. You do not need everyone to understand your intentions. You do not need every person to approve your journey. You do not need to become a version of yourself that keeps everyone comfortable. You need to live with awareness, honesty, kindness, and wisdom. This is enough. If your heart knows you are trying to grow, keep growing. If your intention is sincere, keep walking. If you make a mistake, learn and correct it. If someone offers wise feedback, receive it humbly. But do not let the fear of opinions stop you from living your life. Many people never become who they were meant to become because they are afraid of being judged. They keep their dreams small. They hide their voice. They copy others. They avoid change. They stay in places where they no longer belong. They choose safety over truth, not because they are happy, but because they are afraid of what people will say. This is a painful way to live. Before you die, ask yourself, how much of my life did I waste trying to be accepted by people who were not even at peace with themselves? How many choices did I make out of fear of judgment? How many dreams did I delay because I was worried about laughter? How many times did I silence my heart because someone might misunderstand me? These questions can wake you up. Life is too short to be ruled by the imaginary courtroom inside your mind. You are not on trial every day. You do not need to stand before the world and prove your worth every morning. You do not need to explain your healing to people who only know your old version. You do not need to shrink your life to fit inside someone else's opinion. Let people think. Let people talk. Let people misunderstand. Let people judge from their limited view. You cannot control their minds, but you can protect your own. This is where freedom begins. Freedom begins when you stop asking everyone for permission to be at peace. Freedom begins when you stop measuring your value through applause. Freedom begins when criticism no longer destroys you and praise no longer controls you. Freedom begins when you can say, I will listen to wisdom, but I will not live as a prisoner of opinion. This does not mean you become hard-hearted. A Buddhist path is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming clear. You can be kind without being controlled. You can be humble without being weak. You can be respectful without surrendering your peace. You can care about people without carrying their judgment like a burden. This balance is important. If you do not care at all, you may become arrogant. But if you care too much, you become anxious. The middle way is to care with wisdom. Listen where there is truth. Learn where there is a lesson. Apologize when you are wrong. Improve where you can. But release what is only noise. Some opinions are mirrors. They show you something real that you need to see. Other opinions are mud. If you keep holding them, they only dirty your peace. Wisdom is knowing the difference. When someone criticizes you, pause before reacting. Do not immediately defend yourself. Do not immediately believe them. Do not immediately hate them. Breathe and ask, is there any truth here? If there is truth, accept the lesson without shame. If there is no truth, let it pass without hatred. This is a peaceful response. You do not have to carry every word people throw at you. If someone gives you a stone, you do not have to put it in your pocket and walk with it all day. If someone gives you poison, you do not have to drink it. In the same way, if someone gives you a harsh opinion, you do not have to let it become your inner voice. Many people suffer because they internalize the words of others. Someone called them weak, and they carried it for years. Someone laughed at their dream, and they stopped trying. Someone criticized their appearance, and they lost confidence. Someone rejected them, and they decided they were unlovable. One person's moment of ignorance became their lifelong wound. Do not let careless words become your identity. People speak from their own level of awareness. A peaceful person speaks differently from a wounded person. A jealous person speaks differently from a loving person. A fearful person speaks differently from a wise person. Before you carry someone's words, Look at the state of mind they came from. Not every mouth speaks truth. Sometimes it speaks pain. This does not mean you judge them with hatred. It means you understand. When people are unhappy inside, they often throw their unrest onto others. When people are insecure, they often criticize what they secretly fear. When people are limited, they often mock what they cannot understand. Their words may reveal more about their mind than about your life. So why should you suffer endlessly over every opinion? Return to yourself. Return to your breath. Return to your intention. Return to your values. Return to the quiet place inside you that knows what is true. Ask yourself, am I living with honesty? Am I trying to grow? Am I causing unnecessary harm? Am I learning from my mistakes? Am I walking toward wisdom? If the answer is yes, keep going. You will never be understood by everyone. Even the kindest people are misunderstood. Even the wisest people are criticized. Even the most peaceful people are judged by those who cannot understand peace. If you wait for universal approval before you live, you will never live. The Buddha himself was not accepted by everyone. Any person who walks a path of truth will meet misunderstanding. This is part of life. So do not make misunderstanding a reason to abandon yourself. Your work is not to control every opinion. Your work is to purify your intention. Your work is to act with awareness. Your work is to reduce suffering in yourself and others where you can. Your work is to walk your path with patience, not to win the approval of every passerby. When you understand this, your worry becomes lighter. You no longer panic when someone disagrees. You no longer collapse when someone criticizes. You no longer shape your whole identity around a comment. You no longer spend nights replaying what people said. You begin to realize that opinions are like sounds passing through the air. They appear, vibrate for a moment, and disappear. You do not have to trap them inside your heart. Let them pass. A peaceful mind is like a clear lake. If someone throws a small stone into it, ripples appear, but they do not last forever. Soon the water becomes still again. But if you keep throwing the stone back into your own lake, by replaying the opinion again and again, the water never settles. This is what overthinking does. Someone says one thing, and you repeat it in your mind 100 times. The person may have forgotten what they said, but you continue hurting yourself with their words. You become both the wounded person and the one repeating the wound. Stop repeating what hurt you. If a lesson is needed, take the lesson. If an apology is needed, make it. If a boundary is needed, create it. If nothing useful is there, release it. This is wise living. You must also stop imagining opinions that have not even happened. Many people suffer not only from what people actually say, but from what they imagine people might say. They create invisible judges in their mind. They imagine people laughing, criticizing, rejecting, or discussing them. Then they suffer as if those imagined opinions are real. This is worry, creating a prison out of imagination. Ask yourself, did they actually say this, or am I imagining it? Many times you will see that the suffering is not coming from reality. It is coming from a story your mind created. And even if someone does judge you, that judgment is still not the whole truth of who you are. You must stop giving imaginary opinions real power over your life. Live with sincerity. That is more important than living for approval. Sincerity means your actions are connected to your values. It means you are not pretending to be someone else. It means you are willing to grow, but not willing to betray yourself just to be liked. It means you can look at your own heart honestly. A sincere life is not always popular, but it is peaceful. Many people are liked by others but feel empty inside because they abandon themselves to become acceptable. They smile outside but suffer inside. They say yes when their heart says no. They follow paths they do not love. They hide their truth. They carry silent resentment. They are praised by people, but disconnected from their own soul. This is not peace. Peace is when your outer life and inner truth begin to align. Peace is when you no longer need to perform for everyone. Peace is when you can be kind without pretending. Peace is when you can accept feedback without losing yourself. Peace is when you can disappoint others without hating yourself, because you know you cannot live only to satisfy every expectation. Sometimes protecting your peace will disappoint people who benefited from your fear. Sometimes choosing your path will confuse people who expected you to remain the same. Sometimes growing will make people uncomfortable because they were attached to your old version. Let that be. Growth is not always understood immediately. Do not worry so much about being misunderstood. Worry more about abandoning yourself. Do not worry so much about being judged. Worry more about living a life that is not true to your heart. Do not worry so much about people talking. Worry more about reaching the end of life and realizing you let fear of opinions decide everything. Before your life ends, learn to live with inner honesty. Ask yourself, if no one judged me, what would I choose? Ask yourself, if I stopped needing approval, how would I live? Ask yourself, if I trust that path, what step would I take? Ask yourself, am I avoiding growth because I fear people's opinions? These questions can reveal where you have given your power away. Take it back gently. You do not need to rebel loudly. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to announce every change. Just begin living more honestly. Make one choice from peace instead of fear. Speak one truth with kindness. Set one boundary. Release one opinion. Stop replaying one criticism. Take one step toward the life that feels aligned with wisdom. Small acts of self-respect create deep freedom. In Buddhism, true freedom is not doing whatever the ego wants. True freedom is no longer being controlled by craving, fear, attachment, and ignorance. The craving for approval is still craving. The fear of judgment is still fear. Attachment to image is still attachment. If these things control you, you are not free, even if the world praises you. Freedom begins when you can stand in your own awareness without constantly needing the world to clap. This is a peaceful way to live. You can still love people. You can still listen to them. You can still learn from them. But you no longer let their opinions become the owner of your mind. You no longer turn every comment into a wound. You no longer spend your life trying to manage how everyone sees you. Because you understand something deeply. People see through their own minds. A fearful person may see your courage as foolishness. A jealous person may see your growth as arrogance. A negative person may see your peace as weakness. A limited person may see your dream as impossible. Their view is shaped by their inner world. You cannot keep changing yourself to match every person's inner world. Stay rooted. A tree does not ask every passerby for permission to grow. It simply grows according to its nature. Some may enjoy its shade, some may ignore it, some may cut its branches, some may admire its beauty. But the tree does not become a different tree for every person who looks at it. You can learn from this. Stand rooted in awareness. Grow with patience. Let your actions be guided by wisdom, not by the noise of opinion. Let your heart be open, but not easily controlled. Let your mind be humble, but not weak. Let your life be sincere, even if not everyone understands it. When worry about people's opinions rises, breathe and remind yourself, their thoughts are not mine to control. My intention, my actions, and my response are mine to care for. This reminder can bring your power back. You are not responsible for every interpretation of your life. You are responsible for the energy you live with, the choices you make, the kindness you offer, the harm you avoid, and the wisdom you practice. Beyond that, people will think what they think. Let them. Your peace is too precious to be placed in the hands of every opinion. Do not die without learning this. Do not spend your life trying to be acceptable to everyone while becoming a stranger to yourself. Do not let the fear of criticism stop you from growing. Do not let imaginary judgment keep you trapped in a small life. Do not let random voices become louder than your inner wisdom. Come back to yourself. Come back to your breath. Come back to your path. Listen to wisdom. Accept correction when it is true. Learn with humility. But release the noise. Release the need to be understood by everyone. Release the burden of carrying other people's judgments in your mind. The world will always have opinions, but you do not have to make a home for them inside your heart. Walk gently, walk honestly, walk with awareness, and let your peace become stronger than the fear of what people might say. Before this video ends, take one deep breath and remember this simple truth. You were not born only to worry. You were not born only to carry fear, stress, overthinking, and invisible burdens every day. You were born to live with awareness, to breathe with peace, to love with presence, and to walk through life with a mind that is awake. Worry will always try to convince you that it is protecting you. It will tell you that if you think enough, fear enough, and suffer enough, you can control the future. But Buddhism teaches us that worry does not control life. Worry only steals the present moment. It takes your peace before the problem even arrives. It makes you suffer many times for things that may never happen. So from today, stop giving your whole life to worry. Prepare where you can. Take action where action is needed. Speak with honesty. Work with discipline. Care for your future. But do not destroy your mind over what is not in your control. Do not let fear make you forget the simple beauty of being alive. Remember the lessons deeply. Worry is not wisdom. The present moment is where life is happening. You cannot control everything. You do not have to believe every thought. Your breath can bring you back to peace. Today's happiness must not be stolen by tomorrow's fear. Letting go is something you practice every day. Trust the flow of life. Train your mind to choose peace again and again. Remember that life is too short to spend it worrying. Make peace with uncertainty. Turn worry into wise action. Stop living inside your head. And stop carrying other people's opinions in your mind. These lessons are not only ideas, they are practices. You must return to them when your mind becomes loud. You must remember them when fear appears. You must use them when life feels uncertain. A peaceful life does not mean a perfect life. It means you no longer allow every problem, every thought, every opinion, and every unknown future to control your inner world. It means you can pause, you can breathe, you can observe, you can let go. You can take one wise step. One day, your life will come to an end. And when that moment comes, you will not wish you had worried more. You will wish you had lived more. You will wish you had noticed the mornings, enjoyed the small moments, loved people with presence, forgiven yourself sooner, and protected your peace more carefully. So do not wait until it is too late. Live now, breathe now. Return to the present now. Stop letting worry make you miss the life that is already here. Because life is short, peace is precious. This moment is real, and you still have time to begin again.